Yeah, can you just address it to the AG? Because if you're asking for this, like, kind of more formal guidance,
Okay.
and then they'll listen to me. Have them send it to me, and then change it to the AG.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair.
This is the commission, the CHamoru Land Trust Commission meeting that was published on the Guam Daily Post, August 24, 2023, and it was to resume the meeting of August 17, 2023. This meeting is now called to order. The agenda, we left off on number 7, the agency report. Just give a minute to Ms. Alice Tyron, the administrator.
Sorry, Madam Chair, this driver's giving us a call. Would you like me to?
Yes.
So at the last meeting, we recessed so that it would give us some time to address the current situation with regard to loan guarantees. At that meeting, the commissioners instructed me to do 3 things. To approach our legislative oversight chairperson and request for an appropriation and/or funding assistance in some way. Just as a point of background information, currently there is a $10.4 million loan guarantee outstanding. There's a law that states the loan guarantee fund should not exceed, it should have a reasonable amount to be able to secure that loan, those loans, loan guarantees. And right now, what we have cash on hand to be able to address that is $350,000 estimate. Okay, so I'm just rounding numbers. So after our August 17th meeting, I approached our legislative oversight chairperson immediately after the meeting. I called the office. They're in the middle of budget hearings, and so our oversight chairperson, Speaker Teresa Lahi, called me back the next day. We had a short discussion, and I think everyone is aware that she was able to appropriate $1 million for the home loan guarantee fund. Okay, so I'm thankful for the $1 million. However, that still falls short of reasonably guaranteeing the current outstanding exposure absorbed by the CLT, or the CLTC is responsible for. Further, the $1 million is not money in the bank as yet. We still have to wait for the bill to be passed. And these are just issues and concerns that I want to bring forward to the commissioners. We have money appropriated. It's probably not enough. It's not enough. And furthermore, the amount will only secure approximately 50% of the current request for loan guarantees. As I mentioned in our last meeting, that I presented what we had received thus far, and since then we have been receiving more requests. And I'll provide a printout for the commissioners as we move forward on this. So that's on the legislative site. I was instructed to speak with Guam Housing Corporation to find some sort of solution to be able to address the current situation. Joey Cruz, our PC4, and I met with the Guam Housing Corporation leadership, President Edith Pangolina, the loan administrator, Ms. Mary Guerrero, and the executive assistant, Patty Cure. We thought it was a good meeting, right? We discussed the current issue that CLTC is faced with, the financial inability to guarantee loans, and asked if there was some way that the loan requests from CLTC lessees for Guam Housing Corporation could be made without a guarantee. In that discussion, the loan administrator indicated that one of the things that they could do is strengthen their underwriting requirements and or processes. One example that she provided was maybe requests for a co-signer, not a co-borrower, but a co-signer, because the co-borrower would have to be eligible for CHamoru Land Trust, to be an eligible beneficiary to CHamoru. So that would be a challenge. So that's just one of the things she mentioned. In our discussions, the loan administrator sounded optimistic. However, any changes to their underwriting policies would have to go before the board. So she did mention that these discussions would have to take place at the board level. She seemed optimistic about it, that the board would not, So hopefully if the board approves the changes that they propose to make, CLTC would not need to guarantee loans from Guam Housing. So that's. I also asked, could the homes being built by, through this loan be used as collateral as opposed to the property? And that is another a suggestion that they will bring and discuss with the board, right? So just guarantee, they could just collateralize the home, not the property. And then we still have the agreement whereby, and it is in our law, that how CLTC could cure a default is we would identify the next person eligible or qualified to take on the loan, okay? So we're working on that, and I apologize, it's kind of warm in here and I'm having an asthma situation right now. I have asthma, so it's really hot. With regard to, I asked about the current GHC applicant on our list, and the loan administrator and the team said send him to us, send the applicant to them, and they will work with him, right? There's no guarantee that they're not going to request for a loan guarantee, but they're going to work with him to see if there's something that can be worked out. And of course, if there's not going to be a loan guarantee required from CLTC, that again will have to go to the board. It was a really good conversation with Guam Housing. I was very pleased, right? Now, I asked about our current SBA applicants, and they said, send them, GHC said, send them to us. We will work with them with regard to pre-approvals and or trying to get them qualified for a mortgage loan. And that'd be on their end. So that's an option that SBA applicants have. I understand there could be other issues, but Guam Housing said, send them to us, we'll work with them. All right, so that is an option. So that was, that's my update with regard to my meetings and conversations with Guam Housing. The commissioners also instructed me to meet with and/or speak with SBA. Just yesterday, we were able to finally connect with the supervisory attorney advisor for SBA, who oversees Guam SBA requests. What I did was I asked her, just point blank, if CLTC could not guarantee an SBA loan, would the individual requesting for this loan guarantee be denied? The answer is yes. So if CLTC does not approve SBA loan guarantee request, the applicant will be denied by SBA. SBA needs the guarantee as a condition of their approval. They're building on land. They want some sort of guarantee that there could be, if there's a default, okay, they're going to be paid back. I asked if SBA could use the home as collateral, whatever home was built. Could you use that as collateral? The attorney indicated that that's something that could be discussed. They're not, there's no agreement to it. However, she needed to bring it to her supervisors, to higher up, right? So it was out there. It's not something that, I further asked if SBA would consider an MOU between CLTC and Guam Housing, much like currently exists with the VA, whereby we will restrict a certain amount of funds. In lieu of a loan guarantee, we would restrict funds to cover potential needs, right? And she said she was not familiar with that. I'm going to send her a copy of the MOU that we have with VA, and she said she'd be happy to take a look at that and bring it up to management and discuss it. So it's going to be an ongoing dialogue with SBA at this point in time. I mean, did the commissioners have any questions? Because there's quite a few things that have occurred prior to. So if that's where we are with the legislature, Guam Housing, and SBA. I'm very optimistic with Guam Housing. I'm hoping that there's no confirmation, but they felt good about it, that we won't need to guarantee Guam Housing loans moving forward. So I'm hoping that that the board will, and I'll reach out to the board members as well and answer any questions that they may have. With regard to SBA, it's an ongoing dialogue, but they are open to collateralizing they have to get approval from higher up and to maybe have an MOU whereby we only restrict a certain amount of money and we don't have to guarantee. Okay, now.
When you say restrict the funds, does that mean it's going to be put into a trust?
It's already in the home loan guarantee fund, and it is not touched. It is not touched. It is restricted. We can't touch it at all unless VA calls, right? So that's the way it would work.
Now, are they requiring a one-to-one loan guarantee?
Yes. Well, thank you for that. I completely forgot to bring that up. I did ask what are other, I indicated that our commissioners need to determine what's reasonable. Mm-hmm. And I asked what other places, what are they doing? Because we tried to research industry standards. It varies. Some just assume the entire, right? And in Hawaii, my understanding is they guarantee 50%, only 50%. In American Samoa, it's very different. She's going to try and get me information because lands there belong to chiefs, I believe, is what she mentioned in class. So it's very different. I apologize, I haven't had time to call the CNMI, but the CNMI has money that even the government borrows from their land trust.
Is that the Hawaiian land trust?
I believe so, yes. They guarantee no more than 50% for loans. We're going to have, I asked if there was some sort of agreement that she could share, but it's with Hawaii, so I'll reach out and see if there's some more information we can Industry standards, there are some people that, I've checked with bankers, some have said the security to risk ratio that they use is anywhere from 70 to 80%.
Well, that's in a regular home loan.
Yeah, 70 to 80% secured, risk is the remaining balance. We tried to get as much information so that the commissioners can make a better determination.
SBA doesn't have a template like that?
No, there's no information with regard to any, what's their ratio, security ratio?
You know, because Guam Housing asked for co-signers, I think with the CHamoru Land Trust, we have the beneficiaries, and we should include the beneficiary in the loan. Because if that person that has the land trust passes away, it continues and it's passed down. That's what I suggest.
Okay, I can make that suggestion to Guam Housing, right? That in their underwriting, they can include the beneficiaries to that, right? And that's something that they would have to take up. What is that?
Could it be a combination of the beneficiary and the cosigner?
Okay, so that's going to be for their underwriting terms and agreements and policies, right? When they mentioned, they didn't mention co-borrower, because a co-borrower has the right to the asset, right? Is responsible, and it also has a right to that asset. Because the CHamoru Land Trust requirements indicate that you need to be eligible, right, or qualified, that's something, and that was mentioned to them, that's something that they would have to take a look at, and we'd have to work on ironing that out with them. The co-signer is responsible for the payment, but doesn't have rights to the asset. So the loan administrators seem to be comfortable with a co-signer. Now, something that we probably have to think about and explore more is if we indicate or ask them to include a designated successor, right? It's not beneficiary, it's the successor to that lease, right? We may run into problems. So I would prefer that I will continue discussions with them, and they figure out and do what they need to do to strengthen their underwriting processes and policies. But they're well aware of the situation.
Commissioners, I'm sorry I didn't introduce or take roll call.
No problem, Madam Chair.
I think we have already.
Were you going to do roll call?
Just for the record.
For the record.
Mr. Rivera, David,
Guide.
Mr. Earl Burrito,
Sticker.
Ms. Finney, Ms. Tyrone,
I think so. Ms. Moss.
Ms. Verdalio, I'm here. Okay, thank
Sina,
you.
mamasin ko question, no?
Yeah.
Ang ito ay direktor na sinya Guam Housing na actively SBA. My question is that Guam Housing is willing to entertain the Small Business Administration applicants that have been approved.
Correct. They are willing to entertain.
Understand.
Yes.
So Guam Housing charges 6%.
Right now, I believe it's 6%.
Right.
I'm sorry, Commissioner, could we just speak move the mic closer? We're finding that it's difficult to pick up, yes, for our
Okay.
commissioners.
Just
Thank you.
to clarify, you mentioned that you met with Guam Housing, and Guam Housing was willing to entertain the SBA applicants that have been pre-approved.
Mhm.
However, the Guam Housing charges 6%. The Small Business Administration charges 2%. So I understand that the legislature approved $1 million and we have 350,000 on hand. And I think there's other fundings that are due to the CHamoru Land Trust.
We are
Those are-
good, yes,
Right, those are fundings that have been extracted from the land trust.
$600,000.
600,000. So my
From
question,
where?
So in 2017, the previous administration had taken out $600,000. There was financial issues, and so that money has yet to be remitted to CHamoru. It was taken out of the Home Loan Guarantee Fund. 600,000 is a rounding up. It's just a little over.
okay, so understanding that we have 600,000 that to be remitted to land trust.
We're hoping,
Hoping.
yes.
And then we have 350
Yes.
in account. So that would be about 1 million. And then we have another million coming in from the appropriation that was approved last week. Right, the 1 million that was introduced on the floor,
So it was introduced on the floor, passes an amendment,
right?
right?
So
The bill
if,
still has to pass.
yes,
It's a bill.
It's in the budget bill.
right, and it's been approved unanimously by during the session.
The amendment was approved.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So most likely it would be approved. So if it's approved, then we most likely would have about $2 million on hand. 350, 600, 1 million, about 2
Two,
million.
yes.
So we have 7 applicants now from the SBA that ranges from,
No, actually, we have more.
oh yeah, okay. But anyway, just to kind of make it simple, Madam Chair.
When the first batch,
Right, yeah. We understand that, for example, the first line item that we posted here was 240,000. But for the replacement on the home was 192. So when you see the first, the fifth column, right here. So my point here is that how soon, more or less, that we may receive the 1 million, so that, because I know that the SBA recipients have 6 months window, but then again, it can be extended, but just verify. So after the 6 months, we have 2 months that have passed. So we have approximately 4 months. I really would like our constituents from the CHamoru Land Trust to engage with the SBA contract because of the percentage, the low percentage at 2% for the life of the loan, 2% versus 6. So hopefully that we can secure that amount. And if you do negotiate that, if we can secure the loan from the SBA, not on a one-to-one basis, but maybe 50% or 75% security, that would be a plus for the constituents. Or an MOU with the successorship in lieu of the loan guarantee. If SBA accepts the MOU indicating the successorship of qualified successors,
No.
something to,
So you're asking, the MOU that I mentioned would be to restrict a certain amount of money
okay,
in lieu of loan guarantees that's required by SBA. So that's something that is going to be brought to management, their management to discuss.
to draft a
MOU, yes. So I'm sending them a copy of the MOU that we have with the veterans,
Yes.
right?
Okay.
So that they can take a look at it and then determine what it is best. It's not a guarantee, but it's part of our discussion. I brought it to their attention and I asked them if this is something that they could consider. I mean, that would help us a lot in lieu of loan guarantees being required. We'll have set funds set aside and restricted,
Okay.
much like the VA.
And did they kind of give us a timeline?
No, sir. With regard, SBA?
Yeah.
No. It's ongoing. The attorney that I spoke with is going to do her best to try and get as much information back to us as soon as possible.
Because I know that you mentioned that the 7 that we listed here from last time, now there's more.
Yes, sir, and, okay, so,
Do we have 8 now, or?
Dex, go ahead and pass it out. We have just this one here? Okay. So we currently have, this that's gonna come to you is the updated loan guarantee. If you recall, I mentioned at our last meeting that those were just loan requests that came in at the time, prior to our meeting. These are loan requests that could have come in prior to our meeting, or as a matter of fact, I think we just got one at about 12 o'clock this afternoon. And so we've broken it down with regard to the amounts that are being requested. So there's a total of about 16 loan guarantee requests, one from GHC. The total amount, including GHC, is $2.7 million. So this does not include the amount of one individual with whom we're still pending documents.
So about 240, or?
2.7 million,
2.7.
less the Guam housing one. If we were to subtract that, it's 2.4.
Okay. And we're anticipating having on hand about 2 million.
About 2 million, yes.
Yeah.
With regard to your increase or your question about how soon we can get that million, I can't say. That requires them to pass it and then get it to signature, get it to the front, added for signature. And then with regard to the 600,000 remittance, CLTC has been trying for years, getting that remitted from DOA. So I can't say how soon.
So we have until December, January deadline for the SBA.
For 6 months.
Yeah. And you can, have you checked in the, on the extension, how many months can they extend?
I can work
Just-
with, I'll work with SBA and see if there's an extension given the current circumstances with CLTC.
Okay, so we have 15 SBA. 15 SBA and 1 Guam housing.
Yes.
So we don't have a problem with Guam housing, right? Because
I think we're gonna be okay with Guam
Guam
housing.
housing is willing, so we got about 15.
So it comes out to about 2.4 mil.
So most likely we're gonna be having more as SBA vets the other applicants.
I anticipate.
Yeah.
And- So that's this here.
I just have a question on the so-called reserve for the loan guarantee.
Restricted funds?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not reported in the financials. Am I correct?
Mhm.
It may not be reported in the financials, but it is discussed in our MD&A for the audit reports. Right, if I'm not mistaken. And I can verify that with Joey about it being, not being reported in the financials. It has to, if I'm not mistaken, it has to do with the gas fee.
Can I also ask how many of our the loan guarantees that were, or what is this, our constituents that got the loan and default?
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. That leads me to my next point. So, only made known to me last week was a list of SBA charge-offs. Charge-offs. So, SBA loan, they charged it off to the U.S. Treasury. What does that mean? I asked the attorney from SBA, kind of had an idea, but I just wanted to clarify, what does that mean? Basically, Treasury will act as, to some degree, the collector, right? So the charge-offs, there's about 20 individuals with SBA loans charged off to the Treasury. The minimum amount of the charge-off from the information that was provided to us is $1.1 million. This is $1.1 million in balance, principal balance due. It does not take into account penalties, interest, or fees, which has not been made known to us by Treasury or SBA. So right now it's at $1.1 million. So I'm going to have Dexter provide a sheet like this to you. So this sheet contains all of the outstanding descriptions of the outstanding loan guarantees, the amounts when the loan was signed. And in red, you have the ones defaulted and the amounts. And then you'll have yellow. I think there's potentially one green who filed for bankruptcy, right? And speaking with SBA, they say they will follow bankruptcy rules. However, we are not released from our obligation as the guarantors. In yellow, we have the CLTC paid loan in full. That's a loan that was defaulted by a lessee, and CLTC paid it in full, right? I just made aware that the individual at the last time CLTC went out to investigate and or check, the individual is still living there. There's been no payment or repayment to CLTC. Actually, there's been no action, is what was told to me on that, okay? So this is a list, and we divided it by SBA loan guarantees and Guam Housing. It comes out to a little over 7 million, I think, in loan guarantees for SBA and 3 for Guam Housing. So that's all broken down here in the sheet provided to you.
Can we go back to this other, first sheet?
Yes. These are just, this is current.
Yeah.
So that we're,
I don't know if it's germane to our responsibility, but like, let's say the second one here, okay, where they were given a loan for 240,000. SBA, the first SBA loan.
so the total amount
Yes.
is 240.
Yes.
We broke it down to real estate, disaster
Yeah.
cleanup, and this information is based on the loan agreement that's provided by SBA too, where it breaks it down.
My concern is, I'm not disputing the real estate portion,
Correct.
you know. Maybe we can assert on behalf of our people. Why, like this disaster cleanup and debris removal expenses, normally FEMA gives you the money to do that. And it's really outside of our realm, but I question why SBA is loaning money to our tenants for cleanup and removal and the personal property stuff. This stuff usually is covered by FEMA. They give you the money to do that. So in actuality, in my mind, I'm seeing that this first tenant, this SBA loan should only be 192, 100.
And that's all we're covering, 192?
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying the tenants are being forced to borrow 240.
Well, that would be the tenant's prerogative, right? But our responsibility is to cover the
Yes.
construction of the home.
Yes. So with regard to the numbers that I'm providing, I'm only calculating the real estate and repair replacement. We are not guaranteeing, and I do not recommend that we guarantee anything outside of repair replacement of structure,
I agree
right?
with that, but my point is, I think our tenants are being taken for a little bit of a ride here because their SBA is stacking on these things that normally FEMA gives you.
Actually,
If FEMA.
I think FEMA will give you a certain amount.
Yeah.
700 for personal belongings and 40,000 for grant repair. Repair, but it's a grant up to 40.
Yeah. So this is actually between, I don't know that the individuals are being taken for a ride by SBA. I think this is something that I don't know, the individual would apply with regard to their needs, and then SBA will take it up with them. But for us, what we would guarantee is just the real estate and repair. And I also make a note of that because in our research with these files, previous commissions had guaranteed other items outside of, and I had the team put everything down, and it's all there for you, for your review. But CLTC's responsibility is only for the structure, repair and replacement of structure.
Okay.
I have a question on the tenants of CHamoru Land Trust that were closed and written off by SBA. What has CLTC done to recover and take over the property?
Okay. To my understanding, those who have defaulted in the past is in the past. My understanding is CLTC has not done anything to address these defaults. Today, this was just made known to me last week, I am working with our PC to follow up, investigate, site visits, whatever is needed for us to cure this. Now, we are in a precarious situation because this is already with the Treasury. A minimum of $1.1 million. Okay? I don't know what else may be charged or assessed. The best that I can do at this point in time is find out exactly where this is at and what can we do. We will be held liable for this. So we can take the next steps with regard to what's provided to us in law, identify the next person. I met with the team yesterday. They're working on 1995 lists. We're trying to move forward, create a list, get people pre-qualified in the event they can take over. Actually, Commissioner Berdalio, I need, where this is at already is collection. So this is going to be due and payable by CHamoru Land Trust, right? What we can do is if there's nobody that can take over the lease, we can actually take the lease away from the lessee. We can remove them from the property. That is our right per law. Now, I'm also providing, just so that you understand this seriousness of this and where CLTC is at today, is I'm going to provide a copy of a letter that we found in one of the files for loans defaulted. And Dexter will pass it out to you. And I just wanted to bring your attention to the language that is used, sent to CHamoru Land Trust by the SBA when they're going to collect. I think it's part of your packet here. It's the first letter, right? So this is already at Treasury. I imagine it's already, actually it's at the collection stage. I asked the attorney from SBA, she goes, that's at the point of collection. She can't say she cannot speak to the processes of the Treasury. So I would have to find a way to take that up with them.
Madam Director, the green highlights those that have filed bankruptcy.
Yes. I think there should only be one there.
Yeah, there's only one.
And
So when they file bankruptcy, that means that the property goes back to trust and the home?
I'm not sure. So what I just been, I don't
Can
know
refer to
bankruptcy.
legal.
I do know that SBA indicated that they will follow the bankruptcy rules and the laws. What I've instructed our PC4 to do is to prepare a letter to our federal courts and to make it as a part of our process is to every month or every quarter, because we're not notified. We haven't received any notice. Yep. If there's any CLTC lessees who have filed bankruptcy. So as part of our process to try and stay on top of that is to write to them at least on a quarterly basis to ask if there have been any CHamoru Land Trust lessees filing bankruptcies, so we can prepare. I don't know what their agreement would be, and I think.
Yeah, so this one was 20 years ago, 2003? Or 20, yeah. Right? 20 years ago. And you're saying that we were checking on the property, the physical condition, and
No,
basically.
with regard to anything here, I can almost guarantee that nothing has been done previous with regard to any of these individuals on this outstanding loan guarantee.
Now, okay, go ahead.
So what we did is we pulled the files, the list has been created, and the team has been instructed is, we need to move forward and address these issues.
Now, the next red item, charge off.
Yeah.
That means that land trust has paid that off.
No, sir. These are this is the 1.1 mil minimum principal balance due that SBA sent to the US Treasury.
Okay.
You're gonna see under, that there's about 3 that's not under SBA, but if I understand correctly, SBA also sells their mortgages. So those are companies that mortgages were sold to, right? Some of them are in default. Yes.
Do you know it's not on here, the date of like the last time it was paid? Like, do we know how old these charge-offs are?
My understanding is it's still active. We just received, everybody in red here, their information was just received in January of this year. So it's
No,
still
but
active.
I guess her question is,
I can get
This-
specific charge-off dates, but
Yeah.
this list came straight from.
when was the last date of payment and how long was the arrears accrued?
And if it's, these ones that are not charged off, are they current? Or we don't have that information on how many?
The ones that
are
aren't
current?
highlighted?
Yes, that aren't highlighted. So we don't know if like it's not at the charge-off stage, but we don't know if any of them
They're,
are.
for now, they're current.
Okay.
The ones that aren't highlighted are current.
Based on what date?
I'll get the date. But this is current as of January 2023, but they're still actively charged off to the Treasury.
Do they, SBA report how much, just like this letter's written to us?
Yeah, they would report how much is due, how much they're gonna collect. We just redacted some information here. I don't know why the amount was redacted. It's there. Oh, no, the amount is right there. It's indicated in the first paragraph. But this is, whatever was redacted was personal information.
So how soon is the legislature going to give us the money or the administration? What is it going to do?
I think they're still in budget hearings. And so as soon as they pass the bill, the governor has up to 10 days to sign. So 10 days from the time they pass the bill,
It's now August, right?
August, end of fiscal year,
Normally-
September 30th.
Before September 30th?
Well, since there is an outstanding that's due to CLTC from the admin, could you do a follow-up letter to admin as to when we can receive those funds? Because we need it for these issues and also for our typhoon tenants that are seeking SBA loans. We need to clean up what was in the past, but at the same time, we need to service our current tenants.
So
I mean, it's not pure all. 600,000 is just a small sliver of what we need overall for our loan guarantee. But if SBA can give us like a 70% guarantee instead of 100%, that would alleviate some of our liability also. know, like the commercial banks, when you go in and you apply for a home loan or something, they have that 70 to 80% would be the person borrowing the money has to meet as far as ability to pay back. So since we're guaranteeing it, can they give us, I don't know what's the word I'm trying to look for, but can they give us that same type of projection for our guarantee?
I think I've covered everything with regard to the loan.
Do we have anything outstanding from DITA that they owe us?
I'm not aware of any. But so, I know I've been asked is why haven't these things been reported? Why are we just hearing about this now? What happened? Okay. So, I can only answer to what I have been discovering in the months that I've been here. And I have indicated already to the team, most especially with regard to our finances, is these things need to be made, I need to be made aware as soon as it comes in. Because as fiduciaries, right, the commissioners and myself, basically certifying if funds are available, right? We have a responsibility to the beneficiaries. We cannot make a decision that may ultimately impact the assets that belong to our beneficiaries. So I can't answer why these things were never made known previously. I can only say that moving forward, be assured you will be made aware, commissioners. You will be made aware.
I have a new question.
Yes, sir.
I very much appreciate your report, Ms. Tyron.
I always said is honestly my directive is to ensure that you are protected, these agencies protected, and our beneficiaries are protected. You've seen by the information that I provided that there's been a lot of things done previously that we need to clean up, and I'll provide as much information so that the commissioners can make the best possible decision.
Well,
Give it a-
recovery too is very much.
I'm sorry?
Recovery of our loans.
Yes.
You know, our properties.
Oh,
If they can't pay it, then we can make use of it, get our money back.
Yes, that's in reference not just to residential agriculture, but it's also on commercial. I've instructed the staff is I want a list of everybody who's in default, and we will write letters to collect, rightfully so. That is the right of the commission.
My question was, or is, have we gone through our budget here with the legislature?
So we've had a budget meeting with the chairman of Finance and Ways and Means, right, Senator Joseph Oxley. We've met with his staff, his team. We've gone through the budget with them. What was discussed was the budget that the board approved. We got cut. I believe we weren't approved for, we had asked for an extra $300,000 for legal fees. I explained that I anticipate potentially having a very active legal situation with CLTC. I don't think they've cut any more. We might have, but we're not going to have an actual budget hearing.
Yeah, but based on what we know now, that we are responsible for here,
Yeah.
we asked for a amended budget for the loan guarantee.
Given the,
And it could be locked into the general fund, but to cover our tenants we have the loan guarantee for. They don't have to actually give us the money, just as long as the general fund would guarantee availability of the funds should we need, like in this case right here where we have quite a few, 18% of their loans are in default. And then also, if you indicate to him that we have CLTC tenants that are going through that process of applying for loans to rectify their own situations, which is caused by the typhoon. So, I guess I wanna try and get everything we can get for CLTC to cover their past liabilities and our upcoming liabilities. Like I said, they don't have to actually give us the money, but if they can put it in a restricted fund, in the general fund, that we can siphon off in the event of foreclosures. Because I think they're going to have heartburn if we ask them to give it to CLTC. Because this dates back to 2003. This didn't just occur on our watch.
Madam Director, just a point of clarification. I know that we have a summary, right, for 94 SBA applicants that are here that have mortgage. Then we have 44 of the Guam housing, but on the back, right, we have, other than the vets, we have LLP Mortgage Limited, and then we have MGC. And I'm just trying to, what are these acronyms?
So these are, so these mortgages were actually, they were formerly SBA mortgages sold to these mortgage companies and our banks.
So now it's with SBA and VA? Or
No, not these. Okay, can you,
they're all the way in the back.
The sheets toward the end, they're not listed as SBA loans.
so originally they were SBA loans, and SBA, if I'm not mistaken, does sell their mortgages at times, so. I'm sorry, could you tell me which page?
Page 10, is it 2 or 3 pages from the back end? 1019. We have 4 pages, so the last page.
Oh,
It's the second to the last column.
MGC mortgage.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the bank name. I'm sorry, I didn't,
Okay.
so, but this was formerly an SBA mortgage, which was sold. What we'll do is we will get an update as to, but those that are not highlighted are current.
Okay.
They're good with their
Okay, this is good data.
payments.
Very good. Thank you.
So, commissioners,
Yes.
what would be comfortable as far as asking the legislature the millions that we need?
I would say for 5 million for now.
No, let's just cover the
Oh.
outstanding plus the new liabilities. And hopefully everybody else in this area here maintains their payment records. Because we're tapped out right now, right?
Well, the urgent constituents now that are waiting, that have been approved.
But this is the time to ask what you cannot.
Yeah, and we would ask for the lump sum, and if they,
Then it's
if
up
they-
to them how
if
they
trim it down
handle
by
it.
50%, at least we have that, instead of just asking for
So-
half, and then getting only a
Take
quarter.
10 million.
Yeah,
Okay, so
and that revolving fund,
do we have to make a motion for that? or-
Yes,
restricted
we
revolving fund.
have to. Let the
So that nobody
legislature
can pull the money
make
out
that
of
decision
the general fund.
for the people of Guam.
My focus was basically the constituents that
No,
are.
it's right, it's needed now.
Okay. All right, so I make a motion,
Now.
Madam Chair, to request for $10 million from the Guam legislature.
But
That's
why
my
don't-
motion.
Do you have an actual tally of all this red already? All the highlights, do you have an actual tally of it?
Yeah, that's about just a minimum. It's only a minimum because it's just principal balance due, and based on the information that was provided to us, 1.1 million.
1.1?
$1.1 million. That's just principal. It's not taking into account, we don't have any information about fees, interest, penalties at this point.
We have to replenish what we already reserved.
I'm sorry, what do we reserve?
We have, our reserve is 10 million right now. Right?
No, we have 10.4
Which-
million in
That we
loan
used up
guarantees.
already.
Okay, so let's ask for 10.4 million, but to include our new SBA loans that are pending the guarantee.
10.4, that's approximately,
Whatever it is we tally from this,
2.4.
and that's still a rising number, it's not, it hasn't maxed out yet, right?
Because this is for the whole year. You know, for the budget for the whole. And it's up to the legislature to give us what they think is reasonable to them.
Madam Chair,
I don't mind if I ask, say this up front. We need it.
Yeah.
People are waiting. They don't have the holidays.
so for the commissioners, 10.4, which is outstanding, and then 2.4, which is current,
Yes.
we were looking at 12.8. That's the ask from the legislature. And at present, is this what the commissioners deem is reasonable to address?
12.8.
12.8.
Okay. So
And
motion.
we have the data to back up why 12.8.
Yes, that's all of this information that's been provided.
Okay.
Because like the chairperson said, these people are living in the dirt because their homes were destroyed, so we need to try and help them so that they can begin construction of their homes. I know it's a daunting task because
No, I will prepare the letter. I will reach out to the legislature.
But like I said, I really feel remorse for their living conditions, so I want to try and do whatever I can to help lift them out of where they're at right now.
Okay, good. So I make a motion to request 12.8 million from the Guam legislature, Madam Chair.
To augment our budget for the
To augment
loan guarantee.
the loan guarantee.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you, Alex.
Are you welcome?
Alice, this was a very good effort, you too.
Thank you, sir. We're still trying. We're,
We're not finished.
no, we're not. I mean, there's just been a lot being discovered
Yes.
that we're finding out, so.
We support you.
I did, now, while we're requesting for this, we still have the issue of individuals seeking SBA loan guarantees. So I'll reach out to SBA and see if there's anything more that can be done with regard to at least extending the requirement given the current situation. That's one. Two, They do, I understand the interest rate at Guam Housing is a little more, but it is an option. They have an option to go and try and pre-qualify there. Right?
Sure.
And I'm optimistic, and I'm hopeful that the Guam Housing Board will approve the strengthening of their underwriting requirements. And then moving forward, CLTC will not need to guarantee Guam Housing loans. Technically, we don't have to. The law states we may, it doesn't say we shall, but in partnership, we're, you know. So I will prepare informational sheet, announcement to individuals who come in seeking SBA loan guarantees. We're working with SBA, see what they have to say, what they can do. And in the meantime, the other option is, in the meantime, while you're waiting for that, you can go and work with Guam Housing.
I have another question.
Yes, sir.
It should be directed to Attorney Finney. What recourse would we have of these foreclosures and the bankruptcy proceeding? Because the land belongs to CLTC, the mortgage is on building, and if the original person who borrows the money and his successor are not able to make good the loan, where is our position? And what are we able to do?
There's a procedure that's spelled out in the law. So we can take a look at that and we can follow that process.
Yeah, well, can you give us a report on that and give us our alternatives also for the event of foreclosure? Because, you know, if it's a commercial bank, they foreclose, they take the house and the land, and then they go out and announce a bankruptcy, and they bid it out.
So with regard to the charge-offs, so we do have a process in place where we can identify qualified individuals, right, to assume the loan, right? The next person in line next round, moving forward.
Yeah, but they're only allowed to name one successor, right?
Yes, so they can name one successor, but it doesn't have to be the successor to take over. If that successor doesn't want or can't financially take on that liability, you move to the next person until you can get somebody.
Do they provide us with a family tree like that where we can pick and
No,
choose?
the next person that you're gonna lease to, like the next person.
The next
on the
person we
list.
would lease to.
Okay, so let's see. I'm still not sure about what you just said. I take out the loan. I name him as my beneficiary. I default on it and he's not able to recover either. Who's next?
So let's say you're correct, because we were reviewing this and our team's trying to put this together already, is to have a list of individuals, right? So then that way, if something like this happens, they move to the next person. So let's say you're person number 10, you default. Mr. Herrera is your successor, not beneficiary because you're the beneficiary. He's the successor, right? This is according to law. He can't take over, right? Right. So Ms. Finney is next in line. She's informed, hey, we have this defaulted mortgage, can you afford it? You know, get pre-qualified or whatever the case may be. She's not eligible to do it. Mr. Tan is next. Yes. We've run the numbers, he's eligible, he can do it, then he can assume the
But that would be done in conjunction with a financial institution, right?
how do you mean in conjunction?
Like a bank.
So the loan guarantees, what SBA needs to do, and Guam Housing, what normally should be happening is they should notify us, right?
Because how do we qualify the next person in line and the next person in line? We don't have the ability to do that.
We do not have the capacity for that. So that would be done through SBA or Guam Housing. Yes, sir.
It's an assumable loan, so you just assume the current condition of the loan. That's the clause.
Well, the next individual who
Right.
can financially take on,
Yeah, you
assume
assume.
that loan.
Right.
Yes.
Same percentage, same criteria, you just assume it.
Yeah. So it's just, but the question is how do we make
Yeah.
that person eligible right? So then working with Guam Housing, that's one way to do it, is they can go to Guam Housing, get pre-qualified and say, yes, this person can assume the mortgage of $180,000. So he would be next in line.
Go ahead, Madam Chair.
So that's the list that we're supposed to have, that's supposed to have been created to be able to address this, which it has not.
Do we have a procedure in place to transfer the lease?
Yes, they're
From
in law.
default?
In law, there is the process. And that goes before the board.
Go ahead, Madam Chair. You were saying about the loan, assuming the loan.
Yeah, assuming the loan not necessarily be the same rates and amounts. It all depends on what the balance is.
And refinancing is the option.
Yeah, and whether that person qualifies.
So can an outside person jump in and assume that loan? So
No.
It's just gotta be by bloodline.
No, it has to be an eligible, qualified CLTC, doesn't need to be one, CLTC beneficiary or successor. That's why for Guam Housing, they're not going to use co-borrowers, they're going to use co-signers in the event there's an issue or with regard to a the successor.
So, I just want to make it clear. We will follow the family tree bloodline for someone to assume the loan.
No,
So
The-
I as an outsider can go in and request to buy the loan?
no. So when you speak of the family tree, right, and the bloodline, that's the new requirement under 75A for an applicant to be eligible, to become eligible. So any applications for leases not approved prior to January 1, 2021, right? These individuals will now need to come in and use, or would they have to?
Sorry, no, I think he's just asking about, when you name your beneficiary to your lease, it has to be only from a certain,
Yeah, they only
Certain
allow
people.
through your
I think that's what he's
family.
talking about.
Oh, well, yeah, so your not beneficiaries, they're called successors.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, but the person that you name on your
Yes,
lease.
there's, the law states, your children, spouse,
So,
widows.
well, I don't know
But-
if you understand where I was leading to also,
Yeah,
but
so
if the first successor, after I default, is not able to cure that loan, where do we go from there?
To the next person in line?
So when you say the next person in line, and he's asking, does that mean the next person you would name as a successor
No.
from that list? So he just wanted to clarify
Oh,
that
okay.
it could be any eligible.
Another
It can
nephew or a
You're
grand?
only allowed to name one successor.
Yeah, so
So
what do
that
we do
one-
when we exhaust that?
So that one successor can't take on the loan. Well, then that would be a legal question, is could that successor name somebody else? Is that what you're asking?
That's
Name
not,
somebody.
he's just saying if there's a default, is it gonna stay in the family or is it gonna go, can it go to
So,
somebody else?
But now-
someone
That's what
from,
you're asking.
yes, someone who wants to speculate from the outside can jump in and buy that loan.
No, well, no, they can't be anybody from the outside.
Well,
Why that one?
when he says the outside, he's saying outside of the family.
Yeah.
And when you're saying the outside, you're just,
I'm thinking
I
like,
think you're just
okay,
saying all the eligible beneficiaries.
anybody outside as is not qualified, okay, no, they can't. You have to be qualified. But if you're saying just with regard to the family line, so then that's gonna be another, that's a legal issue that needs to be addressed, because if the first successor can't do it, that first successor, we need to look to, could he have, that successor have named another successor?
I'm not even
Yeah.
necessarily sure that, I haven't really reviewed that, exactly what
Yeah.
happens, but,
Can you give us more
I'm
word on
not
that,
sure.
please?
Yeah, I don't know if it even has to go to the successor.
But you understand what
I
I'm
think
saying,
it just
right?
goes to the next
Eligible,
eligible
qualified,
beneficiary.
Mhm.
yeah.
So I don't think it would have to stay within the families. If
Yeah,
you
yeah.
default, then it just goes back to the land trust and then they can lease
But the
it.
land trust still has paid out the money because it's a bankruptcy.
But they're
or-
gonna lease it out to someone who's gonna pay. And so
But
that's.
that person that's going to pay, is that going to be in that initial bloodline? Or an outsider can
No,
jump
it
in
could be
and-
any eligible beneficiary that's gonna be.
on our CLTC list
Right.
that hasn't been served?
It could be number 6
Could be number 50.
or 7,
Yeah.
right? First come,
Yeah.
first served.
Well, if 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 can't do it, then we move on to the next one,
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
But you saw where is it going with that, right?
Yeah, but I haven't looked, I mean, I was trying to look at it.
That's why I said, can you do a report on that for
Sure.
us?
The last thing is just the next underscore beneficiary.
Okay.
What's lost is lost.
Huh?
What's lost is lost.
So, the,
What's next?
should we get, should we be asked with regard to SBA loan guarantees? Is the commission's position at this point in time is we cannot guarantee any loans. We are not guaranteeing any loans until we can get financial assistance from the legislature? Is that what we're? I think that was,
I have, can I bring up another subject? Are the minutes completed then?
the minutes from the last meeting have been completed. However, at the discussion during the meeting, it was decided that it was going to be taken up at the next meeting. So we didn't make it available today because of that discussion. But I can get it to everybody in advance. Kathy has actually, she worked on it immediately. And then the minutes for this meeting will be done
Okay,
too.
another point I want to bring up is, has the auditor completed the report or is it?
Has the auditor completed the report? They are near completing with regard to the ratio, yes. They should be near completion. We received a request to send in some documents, we did, so they should be near complete. And that will be made public. Commissioners, I did want to bring up, I know at our meeting, we indicated that we would hold a working session for the GICC to present on their solar farm proposal. That would require notice, right? So the next meeting is actually, and by law, we have to hold our meetings on every third Thursday at 1 p.m. So our next meeting is September 21st. Would the commissioners be amenable to just holding the working session then, at that point in time? Is that allowable, Kristen? At that meeting, you'll be allowed to ask your questions. We can focus on that, address whatever's needed. You've gotten their handouts.
Okay. Yeah, we had the handout, right, and we explained the first 2 pages, but we wanted to kind of finish off, just make them finish off what they have, and then we'll interact on the work session for more details.
If there's an additional info.
Right,
Is that what you-
right, there is no additional, it's just,
So at the work sessions, you cannot make decisions. You cannot,
Yeah.
we won't be able to make decisions or, right?
This
Yeah,
is
we're not-
discussion, this is just a
yeah,
discussion.
and it's not in the agenda, right, so,
You're
At
talking
the next
about,
meeting, we will.
you're talking about just doing this at the meeting, right?
So I'm proposing, because our next meeting is September 21st, right? And we have to notice a work session. And at that work session, what would be the purpose of the work session? Just basic discussion on it, right? So if that being said, it would probably be safer to just have that work session during the
During
meeting-
the open meeting.
during the open meeting. instead of having 2 meetings. So your work session is actually going to be during that meeting. It's open, it meets the requirements for public participation and public notice.
And then we can make motion on the loan guarantee. Or, because today, right, we cannot make any decision on the loan guarantee for the home loan because it was not in the agenda.
It was
Yes,
part of
it
the
was.
agency report?
It is,
Okay,
it was part of the agency report.
okay, on the agency. So our
Yeah.
motion was legal, our motion?
The motion for
Because
me
it
to,
wasn't-
right,
See
to,
on the agenda,
Oh,
right?
yeah, but the motion that you guys made to seek additional funds, yeah, I don't see any issue with that. But I think what you're asking about,
sorry, there's a bug.
Go ahead.
if you were asking about making motions regarding particular applicants,
Yes, with the, for the,
because, I mean, there's, and you're saying that there's nothing here that would notify people that that's the decisions that you would be making, right? That's, I think that's what he's saying.
right, because if you look at that, council, the old business and new business, there was no subject about.
About loan guarantee.
Correct. So the motion that we made was not in the agenda, so would that be in
Yes, it
compliance?
But it
It was discussed in the agency report.
Okay,
Ms. Tyrone presented a list of people that wanted a guarantee.
I presented a list of amounts that were being requested. I didn't indicate names. And was there a particular motion that we were looking to, we were seeking, sir?
I believe you were talking about a motion today, right?
right, the motion for the 10 point,
12 point.
or 12.4.
We have to have the money first before we can
Right,
approve
I
it.
understand.
So that motion for me to write to the legislature to request for that is acceptable. There shouldn't be an issue with it. Basically
it
just,
came out of what you discussed during the agency report
That's right.
and the financial report.
And also came in on the public comment.
And remember last meeting, we requested for 1 million, or we requested to make contact with the chair,
yes,
right? And
which
we
was
did,
done, yeah.
which you did, and you bargained for,
She, yeah.
$1 million.
I asked for 8 million, but
Okay. Better than 0 million.
yes.
Okay. So,
Is there anything else to report?
Well, I think we've discussed what we needed to discuss today, and we're moving forward.
on public comment.
Maybe we might want to have comments from the public.
Public comments. This is
Number 8. Number 8.
Yeah, number 8. Public comments number 8.
Yeah.
and maybe
Yeah.
yeah. So what is?
Oh, well, it's up to you, Madam Chair.
I mean, we can't make any decision
Yeah,
to
no,
do the guarantee.
right.
Yeah.
Maybe just to hear the,
And
the
we went through the list. Is there anything, Ms. Tyrone, because
I don't have anything else. The recess was to provide updates on the loan guarantee situation with SBA and everything else, seeking some sort of solution.
And one housing.
And Guam Housing, yes. So I reported all of that as instructed.
with the public comments, we had people come before public comments on our last meeting.
Yes, we did. That's the prerogative of the commissioners. If you would seek public comments, and then we move on to commissioner comments.
okay.
So if you feel more comfortable having public comments,
Yes, Madam Chair, just, to plan
well,
to
we'll
be-
limit the time,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
So
So, do we have, if we have public comments, you can come forward, please sign and state your name for the record. Next to the next list.
Yeah, maybe 5 minutes.
And if, yeah. If there's no public comment.
La comprendo, sta famiglia.
Only,
It's a lot.
okay.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. So I'm gonna,
Yes.
yeah,
Have a seat.
yeah, say, yeah, so I'm gonna, inaan na sa rin.
My name is Jose C. Canata. The C stands for is Chagala. Madam Chair, Commissioner Arlene Galali. Administrative, Madam Alice Tyrone. Madam Christine Sanchez, Assistant Attorney General, and Commissioner Raul Garrido, Commissioner David Herrera. I am here for the second time. As I heard the conversation when Mr. Raul said, why don't we just start all over again? And then Madam Chair, Commissioner Arden said, yes, we are, some of us are living under canopies. I am one of them, and I believe there's another storm coming again. And as a first responder, we are getting prepared. So I'm looking forward that I need you guys' help, because I've been going back and forth from SBA to COTC office, ITC, your second floor. And going back to SBA and also inquiring is there any other alternative where they can help me out. Although they did help me out with the loan, which is sitting in the bank, because I feel they're returning the money already. I feel they're returning the money. I don't want to touch the money. But every time it rains, I could not sleep good because my foundation is getting flooded. And I'm worried that where I'm sitting at might just collapse. I just want to harm my family. So on behalf of my family, I need the help of CLTC, Madam Commissioner Arden, Madam Administrative Director Alice Tyrone, Assistant Attorney General Christian Feeney, Commissioner Raul Garrido, and Commissioner David Herrera, and all the staff of the CLTC. I am looking forward that we can help not only me but the other constituents that are waiting, like what Madam Chair, Commissioner Arnie is saying. Some of us are living in uncomfortable sleeping quarters. I know it's Mother Nature, we can't help it, but this is the first time I ever experienced this, because if I do not have any disaster in my area, I will not be here. I will not be here. I'm just asking, because I've been going back and forth. I'm doing my own life, going to revenue tax, CHamoru land trust, because I'm having issues about not blaming this person, CLTC right now, but what transpired is what I'm hearing, that there's a miscalculation on property tax and names, and I just, like what Mr. Commissioner was saying, let's start all over. Madam Commissioner Arlene Bernardo was saying, we need help. And that's why I'm here to testify, to see if you guys can help me out. Because I've been going to SBA, I've been calling SBA, and when I visit them, it worries me a lot because they're saying you will be leaving the island. And I have a few months to deal with. Like I said, the money's in the bank, but I do not want to touch it. I was even talking to my family for returning the money back because I don't want to deal with it because SBA loan is in the bank, it's approved, but the land I'm sitting on is under CHamoru Land Trust. So I'm asking that please help me, not only I as a Romanian Chamorro raised here in the beautiful island of Guam. We need help. We need help. Help me out. And hopefully this will be my last meeting. And I sure would like to attend this meeting because it's kind of interesting to know the law, to know what's going on. And then I can pass it on to people that really need help, what they have to go through. And Madam Administrator, Alistair, I need your help. A man can cry, and I ain't ashamed to let tears fall down my eyes, but consider my family. Put yourself in my shoe, because as a first responder, during the storm and after the storm, we were all there helping the people restore power. While my family is in disasters, cleaning up the damages from Typhoon Marwar. And here I am now suffering the consequences that I am hurting right now. So, Madam Administrator Alistair, put yourself in my shoes. Help me out. Madam Commissioner Arlene Pelayo, Mr. Commissioner David Rivera, Commissioner O, and also, last but not least, Assistant Attorney General Christian Pino. I said my piece, and I said again, the Lord above is giving us all this guidance to help the needy ones. Like we all say, our ancestors are the abuelo and abuela. Their children's children are watching us spiritually to help the people well. This is our island. We live in one island, one culture. We need help.
Mr. Kanata, just so that I am clear, you've asked for my help. I understand that there's two issues that you have come to the CLTC for, and I want to be sure that I understand that these are the two items that you are requesting assistance for. The first is for CLTC to approve your loan guarantee. Is that your first request? Is that your first request? With regard to us helping you, me helping you, is you are seeking CLTC commissioners to approve your loan guarantee?
Yes,
Okay.
as Madam Administrator Alistair.
Yes. I want to be sure I understand.
Because, you know, I went back to
What it is you're
SBA
asking for.
and this is what they did advise me to do. Go down to CHamoru Land Trust and ask them why they cannot guarantee or put in writing why CLT cannot provide a loan guarantee.
Okay.
Like I said earlier, I've been going back and forth from here to GCC, and yes, they are leaving little by little. People from the staff from the SBA that's helping me out, they're leaving the island already. So I have to start all over with a new staff from SBA. So,
I will prepare a response to SBA indicating why it is that we cannot provide a loan guarantee. But I'm also as instructed by the commissioners to reach out to SBA to see if there's anything that can be done with regard to extending the date, the time frame for that, correct? Now, so I will address that, Mr. Kanata. In addition to, you've heard the discussions with our commissioners that they are unable at this point in time. We have a fiduciary responsibility to all the beneficiaries, and for them to make a decision that could financially jeopardize the CLTC would be negligible, if I'm using that correctly. So that's one, but they're doing their best, and I will do my best, and I will try and respond to the request from SBA per your best. The second is, what is your second request that you need help?
it's just the loan guarantee and the agreement. And
Was,
already the name change has been rectified already.
so
And
the
thank-
issue is with DRT, right? So that we are aware, and the commissioners are aware, Mr. Kanata is in the right place, in the right number, lot number. If I'm not mistaken, it was the master plan that was used. He is in the right place. However, there's a different individual whose name is on the tax roll. So we are seeking DRT's assistance to make that correction already, right? Correct? Is that the other issue? Yes. So we are working on a letter to DRT. I will make a phone call to the director saying, and this has been an ongoing problem, right? This has been years past. If I'm not mistaken, this is the fastest that CLTC has moved to try and address this issue, to get something happening in that respect. So we are working on that. We are addressing your issue. You've come into this office and we are working on it right now. It's not sitting, it hasn't fallen to the wayside. So that is being addressed as we speak.
Okay, Madam Administrator, at this time, if you don't mind, how long will it take?
Let me see.
But right now,
How long would what take? The letter, maybe, what's today, Wednesday, maybe by the end of the week. Now, so that you're aware, we just can't write the letter. I have the staff conducting their due diligence. So there is a lot of research with regard to your case, and it also involves another individual. So all of that had to be worked on simultaneously, so that we're not making another mistake regarding this other individual. But we are working on it. With regard to the letter, I am working closely with the land agent on this letter. She has been on top of it. So give me until the end of the week. You will get a call back from me or the land agent telling you, as she has done, communicating with you, where we are. Right? So that's the process, is we need to work with, DRT needs to make this correction. I want it on record that we are requesting for this correction. And that's where we are at.
Madam Administrator Alistair, I got a call yesterday from one of your staff, I believe he's a line agent, that they're going to come out and do a GPS global positioning. My response, I appreciate the call back, but I was hoping that, this has nothing to do with, but then I found out that they're going to come out and do a global positioning system, GPS. My question in response is about the document I have from the map to the survey map that CHamoru Land Trust has in file. So the response is, well, they're going to update it to their file. So I'm wondering, the map that I have and the survey map that I have is not legit. I mean,
Nobody's saying it isn't legit.
I mean, I'd rather evict the place and go elsewhere than because I'm freaking out. I'm going through all these concerns. I mean, that map that was turned into CLTC, the map that I have and the lot that you stipulated, the lot that I have is sitting under the lot I'm assigned to, but although the name is not under the lot I am sitting for.
So just to clarify, and that was brought to my attention, the CHamoru Land Trust land agents are not certified GPS, they're not plotting points. Part of their responsibility and what they need to do is actually go out there, and they're with regard to points, they're gonna take pictures, they're gonna plot, they're not plotting points, they're just gonna identify anything that may be on the property, they're gonna try and identify where it is, it's gonna go up to the surveyor, and then they're gonna plot the points. So that when part of their inspection is, oh, okay, well, this building is here and it shouldn't be, is that on Mr. Kanata's property or is it on the other person's property? They need to make sure. And so the survey department upstairs at DLM will be making those actual plots. Our team goes out, it's part of their job, Mr. Kanata, is to ensure that our lessees are in compliance, not to say that you're not. It's part of their job to go out there and to make sure that we're not, the lessees aren't encroaching into other properties. That's what the land agents are gonna do. As a matter of fact, I just approved their request for a site visit. That's really what they're gonna do. They're gonna come back and they have to update. They have to update the file with pictures and descriptions of the property. That's what they need to do. They should have been doing. That should have been done.
If you heard in our meeting tonight, CLTC is going to request from the legislature for $12.4 million to cover the loan guarantees. Okay? I don't know if I'm going to be speaking out of place, but I would encourage you to go down to the legislature also and to convince them that it's necessary for the people of Guam, because we're in a position where we're being asked to guarantee the loan, but we don't have the funds to do it. So Senator Joseph Augustine is the chairperson for budgeting, right?
Yes, finance.
Our letter from our meeting tonight is going to him asking to amend our budget to include the money to move forward with guaranteeing the loan for SBA. And you're one of those recipients. We are one voice, but if we have people who are directly affected because of the typhoon come forward and state their position, the more people, the more power we have. And the more willing they will be to allocate the money. That's just my suggestion. Okay? But I know you're living in very harsh conditions because of the typhoon. And that's why I've been speaking up to try and see what we can do. And so as this entire board has been working towards trying to help you. We have your situation in our agenda, and we will try and do our best to try and get you in the right path.
So the money that SBA gave me, that's in the bank. I'll just wait for.
Well, like I said, we've instructed our director to write a letter to request an amendment to the CLTC's budget that will be focused just on the loan guarantee. Now, if you want to help speed up the process, I, as a private citizen, will go down there and talk to the senators that will have oversight on this. It would help, it will help, it won't hurt.
I was surprised when I believe the leader was touring the area and found me on the side of the road. Asked to take a picture of my place. uh, I refuse. Just to put it out as to how we live after the storm. I refuse that request from the media. For some reason, he was in that area, and I guess they're looking for somebody, and he happened to see me clearing out our damages, and he asked permission if he can take picture of the damage that the disaster storm hit my place. And I didn't have time for that. I just want to clear all the debris, the damage that Typhoon War has done in my place. So it'll be a different story if I do have that media go ahead and take a picture and interview me.
But
I did
I
not.
would like to plead to you to please understand, the legislature holds the purse strings for the government. And if they don't allocate that money for us, we need your help as much as you need ours to get this in motion.
May I say something? Back in August 17, we requested the director to send a letter to the speaker, and she did. She contacted the speaker. The speaker presented the motion to get about 500,000 in the beginning, right, for the loan guarantee. But then they made a motion and they approved 1 million. So that's just to clarify that back in August 17, the director did contact the legislature, and the legislature made a motion and they made an agreement to provide $1 million. Now their mindset at that time was basically the 7 constituent or 7 applicants that were in the SBA listing, that included you and 7 others. So then as the days went by, there was new discovery that there was like 20 other SBA loans that were guaranteed back since 2003, according to this spreadsheet. So I guess just to make it clear, Madam Chair, right, that the 1 billion that was requested at that time. So you see, even with the 1 billion, and they're having a problem with allocating that. Now we're asking for 12.8, no, 12.4, 12.8. So I understand that you prefer, right, Madam Chair, that all the issues from 20 years ago would be allocated or addressed. Am I? Right, because the meeting that we had last week was to address the 7 that we had here listed, or 8.
Well, actually, Commissioner Herrera, I have to, I respectfully state that when this was presented, the first few I indicated that there's more to come.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That we
understand.
would have
Yeah.
more to come, yeah.
And there's still more than me.
Yes, yeah. And I didn't ask for $1 million, I asked for more, actually. I
Okay.
asked for $8 million,
Yeah.
give or take.
So, just to make it clear, the monies or the first string, shall we say, it's not. It's not sufficient, and it's not under our control. I know that we were supposed to have, I think, 350,000 in. I don't know if that's a physical amount that's available, or
Yes,
but,
it
but
is.
350 is not enough to cover 2 homes, maybe 1. So we're going from 7 preliminary applicants, 6 or 7 from SBA, 1 from One Housing, And then now we have a multiple list. And this is new to me, so but the hole's getting deeper in the rail. So we're going to keep trying, because that's the process. So now I understand that the director met with Guam Housing, and Guam Housing has a same program. And if you guys were going to go to Guam Housing, that's another option. It's just that they charge 6% versus the 2%. Now with Guam Housing, they don't have to have the physical amount of money. An MOU would suffice.
With regard to loan guarantees?
With Guam Housing.
If our discussion passes with the board, we don't have to guarantee home housing.
Right, okay,
Yeah.
all right. So that means you don't have to have the cash amount, right, to back it up.
We don't have to guarantee it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just that the percentage is 6% versus the 2. So because you were already pre-qualified from SBA, I'm pretty sure that you'd be qualified with Guam Housing. Would that be, because you were Guam Housing director, so would that be, if you were pre-approved and vetted with the Small Business Administration, and your income and debt ratio is within the guidelines that you qualify to obligate, a 30-year loan at 2%.
The requirements could be different, or potentially different, so I'm not gonna answer for Guam Housing.
Okay.
But it's worth a shot for, and we will send out letters. I didn't want to do it prior to these individuals saying, at this point in time, your other option is to go to Guam Housing. Guam Housing has indicated, send them to us, and they'll do what they can to help.
That's one option, or
Yes.
get the 10 million into the land trust, and that should suffice. Right, just to make it clear to the constituent. Would that be online, madam?
The issue and the concern is we do not have the financial capability to address any potential liabilities that will come as a result of these loan guarantees. We're seeking assistance from the legislature. In the meantime, SBA applicants have the option to go to Guam Housing Corporation. I cannot speak whether an individual is going to be approved or not, but the team that was here said they will do everything they can to assist.
We have that option.
Yes, that is an option.
So, we are doing our best.
Yeah, from the last meeting I heard, if only one housing can be a lesser, and CLTC can be a lesser to help us constituents, with the issue we're going through. And yes, I would sure like to attend the legislature's meeting, but since it was aired out that the legislature has appropriated the funds to help the CLTC constituents with the loan guarantee.
Yeah, the way it works, Joe, is the agency can request money for their budgets, right? But it has to go before the legislature. The legislature will either approve or disapprove. They can strike out whatever they want, all right? Or they can include whatever they want to the budget. But that's the process. It comes from us, goes to the legislature. The legislature approves everything, it goes to the governor for her approval. That's why I said the legislature controls the purse strings for the government. But we're working hard for you, Joe.
Thank you.
And it's not just you, we're working hard for all those people in need because of the disaster.
I agree. Yeah, I agree on behalf of
Well,
whoever.
you're taking an active approach by showing up.
I just want to say thank you so much, Madam Commissioner Arlene Nogales, Madam Administrator Alice,
Christine.
Madam Assistant Attorney General Christian Quilly, and Commissioner Earl Lugo, and Commissioner David Rivera, right? And all your staff of the COTC. Thank you so much. And I'll be looking forward for your support. Thank you.
We're gonna get DRT to stamp receipt the letter and make you a copy. We're gonna provide that to you.
You someone have a signed parking lot here.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Just want to shake your hand. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. How you pronounce the last name?
Guerrera.
Guerrero.
Guerrera. Guerrera. Guerrera.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr.
Yeah, someone else.
Is there any other public comments? To go up with? Can we do it? Yes. Sir, can we just take a 5-minute break?
Yes.
We're gonna get your sign-in sheet,
Yes.
Madam Chair?
We're gonna allow them to
Recess.
sign.
Recess for 5 minutes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
got it.
just, we have to take attendance, okay?
What's your time? Where's the other one? Okay.
You ready? You ready? Yes.
We're back in session. On public comments, your names, sir?
My name is Tony E. Cruz. I'm from Guam. Okay?
This is Mossy.
Tau Guamo, Mafanyabong Guamo, Mapoksayo Guam. Muna moto magi gini, sila puno coy.
Umugan na din.
Muna moto magi gini, put papit ni malagunye SBA. Kasi niya mapribo, kung sita gini, hamzi papit. Itu na solo, tiutungo ko wajun itu, kanan public hearing gini. Anyo senti na sa manyo, isigilan moto mo. Sa bura po bema gini kita nuta. Dạ, olay company na tiêu số số ni giảm lại cái này có ham chút số một cái gì sao, sao quá cái mà nó thật thì là tempo, một lát gì, vesti ni lát gì xì ya đồ một cái ta kia chẳng cả, tại để chết nó cái nó làm có right, dạ, ola muốn ta phải bảo lịch là problem á, I hope we correct this problem, because if we don't, that bujitos. The kids that behind our tail is going to be the one to suffer 10 times more than right now. 10 times more. I'm not guaranteeing. My research of what I've seen since I was growing up. Okay? I just heard from you guys about when Mr. Inata was saying about the legislature. I don't see why the 15th could not cooperate with you guys. I don't need a darn if it's a Democrat or Republican. What we need is to stand together and unite and help the people. Because a lot of people, medget CHamoru yuzo, but mamagigisi pago. So I don't want you guys to feel pity to me when I tell you where I sleep. I sleep on a garage, no roof on my main house, a big open space, no window, no door, except my body and a chair that was given to me like I recline to sleep. I don't expect people to feel sorry to me like, because it's my job. Do my work, and if I want a sleep better place, good, I have to do it. I don't expect one of you guys to do it, but all of the jobs that people need that you guys holding it, let's get together and fight it. Tamumuji loy, zani kongreso, sapa, osuno lii, ipobema ni tanuta. I'm ashamed from the people on outside talking. In fact, I went to zero down and just telling this person, I wish that guy is here. You know what? He responded to me when I was telling them about the problems. And he was telling me about the problem. And I tried to help them. They said, Tony, we're not CHamoru, Tony. We're not from Guam. We're from Panape. But I do both. Because my kids are here been over 20 years. And I'm in US now. But the way they're treating us is like, we're not CHamoru. We're not from here. That's because I mentioned that I was born in Panape. And I'm from Panape, but my kids. I'm ashamed when he told me that. What worries me is for him to go and contact his governor or his legislature, senators back then, and say, hey, guess what? They're treating us, Panapean. Please, I'll send you guys a picture of zero down. And I'll still guarantee 100% now that when you go up to that place, Nothing has been done. I even sent SBA, FEMA, Red Cross, and tell them, go up there and see what those people going through. And it hurts my heart. It hurts me. Because they're human beings that so pareho than Wahoo. I'm a human being, just like the others. Man, tau-tau ilo tau that they will have my respect, como que les John with na tau-tau. Okay? Et sige na tayo ninyo, ay tinalili ko, hago, parahasi. No. Let's get together and forget about those things. And unite. Katsong, saman sa mori, tau-tau kami. Natanalisti, tau-tau doon naman, kaya hinasui. We're high-educated people. Let's show them. Let's show them that we could do our job. Sa educated mo ito, mga gilay. Put ST na kapit. Sa kilele ko. Manaksan ito. Sa ganila sa niya kongreso. Niti man maeko mo kanjo sa puli. Demokrato o Republican pa daw si. Dagkuluzo na nilatsi. We're sitting down for the people of Guam. Manuktugit. Pay tao-to, gini, kita nota, kita ko. Tapos Diyos, ola mon, doon manhasri kongreso, no manapara no siya napaparayan. Stop that bullshit. Because this is a serious problem in our island. And one day, might be more worse. Among Panapan, Chuk, Yak, Palau, Chukis, or whatever. With that, we cannot communicate. And what's next? Boom, 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 boom. I'll tell you where I live, and you can go up there now. Same place as where that guy lived. At least was CHamoru, South Cadiola. Now sometimes I cannot. This is the road to Carlane. I won't mention name. Pura Careta cannot pass. That is public road, right? I asked them, what are you guys going to do about this problem? I asked police officer, what are you guys going to do with this problem? Nothing respond, that is good. They haven't taken care of that problem up to now. They stole the back of the government of Guam. The same people. Did they do something? Nothing. We take care of you. Don't forget, election time. No, this is true, man. Let's stop this bullshit, man. That's why these things are rising, getting worse and worse. Huh? This problem, like, why? Those senators, those governors, I don't care who, let's start now and take care of this problem. Become more worse like. Manamasi pamagumta or kids of future leaders. They always say, oh, one day you're going to be the governor or senator or the leader or what? Doctor. But I was supporting that kid. No, bunch of lies. Let's stop that. We're hurting ourselves. We're hurting ourselves, man. Because I seen problems, and I could take you anywhere, and you could ask me, what is the major problem here in the island? I'm not lying, right? Okay? And like I say, I don't expect my brother, sister, mother, father, but they're not all here right now. I don't expect my brothers and sisters that are still alive to, hey, Tony, you got some. Don't worry, bro. If I need, I'll call you, bro. I'll stand with my 2 feet, you know, but now the togi dos patasro. Sa manayo patasro, manayo kanayo, manayo talanga, manayo pautsu, manayo. After the coup, manayo titanish. Pabinasi. Dali togi, moni sinya. Nis, pabi la, mauli. Yun na ako. Esta Pavana temple pare contractor, that's all. You guys know that. A lot of these people cannot afford. I tell SBA, why don't you go shop around? And look at those prices on the store. Do we have senators to stop the price gouging? Huh? Do we have those people, man? Hey, we'll pay you if you do it. If you don't do it, we're going to fire you. During my time, if I don't do my job, my boss will get in my ass. Tôi có gần là tụi mà là cả luôn đó, cái trí trời đi. Tại vì nó không nhà tôi, mà cái là nó mà just do, they know those small people, man. But they don't see the big people that could do a lot of things. They forget about the small people. Just like right now, what we're going through is hard, my friend. But I'm not going to give up the battle. Now I hope you guys understand that there's a way and there's a will to change this, to turn this around and help a lot of people that need help. Give them a chance. Some people, they convicted big major crime. But when they went and get punished, they say, I will never do it again. Why? I learned my lesson because that guy really nailed me for me to learn that what I did is wrong. Yes, do it. Let's do it. I don't like to be, I don't mind to be helped, but help me directly. Don't do it under the table and I'm going to hurt people or you're going to get hurt if they found out things that we're not doing right. I don't want it. I don't need it. Because I'm standing with my 2 feet, my bare hand, my brain, my eyes, and my ears. That's all. I want to do it. I want to show people that, hey, let's do it. Man. Just like our young generation, we have to teach them. Want to learn? Go out there and do it. When I say do it, do it. If you need it, if you don't know, come to me and tell me. And I'll go out there and help you. I'll show you how to do it. So you could learn. Elana, my dad, really taught me this thing. You know, and that's my philosophy. Yeah. Sige lang yung ko lang. Anya sangan pelikungus. Hapa na para siya o fan kinensa. It's good for you people. What you guys call the plan for the people out there, for the CHamoru. Hapa na gatso, Senator. What do you want us to do, gatso? We're doing this for the people. We don't want them to think that we're behind chair doing nothing. So help us, and we help you, and we'll all get to what was good. Honestly, I'm praying now, because what I saw is not really good. It's not really good. Esther, you guys know about Hawaii. There's not that much money for the FEMA and SBA to help them, and that is right down to the ground. Disaster. And the first thing they're going to hear, Papa, nothing. What are you guys doing? Can't you see the problem? Nothing. So wiped out by the fire. What are you guys going to do about it? We're going to blame the governor. We're going to blame the senator. Let's all blame who's not doing the job and get him out. Get him out. Sir, you did the problem. We all look like we want to get killed. Huh? They want to kill us. Because it's lanya si Pedro, puno kan putero. Sapa? So which is almost like thinking of my bad issue. There's time that time will come. That time will come, and honestly, I said in the Bible, that time will come. Let's all help people. Let's all hand each other. And be strong. I said, we're going to do it as a team. Teamwork, as a family. As brothers and sisters. Let's do it. And let's show other people or other nations that we're doing this for our island. We're doing it. When the Red Cross shut down, I used to help Red Cross. And only few weeks, 2 months, it's shut up. How forgot so? How long so you don't have? Typhoon? Where's the money got so that we've been, let's get together and put. I know one old man showed me a paper that he signed at his work every payday going money to the when the time comes. That guy, right now, if you see his house, only 10. No roof, no wall. I seen those things, and I could show you people. And I'm not blaming like I say. Tiêu, lele ko na hao. O hao. La para, kataso so idinansi na monera, idinansi na amatso gina. Sa dinansi todo si magmago gitano. Pinalahan nga si Mr. Ramoling Bidon. Atana na di ako. Atana. Na sige. Kaya tazuta. Lana comfort nata. Bota tatanapan makot. Sungat so. Man manit palay. Wapapot kay bimamilipot. Sabi sa ako na mga. I swear to the Bible and to the Lord. I never see government of one where I live. I never seen one up to now.
Swamp Road is in the guy.
Swamp Road, South Gadiola.
Fury lot 101.5 na guy. South Gadiola.
I even know there's a lot there, man. That the person died.
That pinasuda.
Timapa si surveyor. I know a lot of problem, man. Why we're doing this?
Kasi Steve, sinyo no manggagawa ni para long guarantee para SBA.
Oo, ay manggagawa papit para ilo. Sa mga prebo.
Parewa.
Parewa ang sunod.
Yeah,
Kasi
parewa.
malik na sa amin sa napunto na tapantan niya sa sang kini legislatura para uhuki para tagahon ni Mas no.
May problema dyan patagagaw ko sa
Tapantan
Lapiya.
niya.
Jao ba ligaw ni Mabay?
Tapantan niya.
Una, na ang problema ko na sa Lana. Magangizo ni security.
Ay na itikwento siya yung respeto no.
Bunga rin, bisang na na, stay na chelo. Lugo na tao to ka ng umagan mo na.
Oh,
Tawag ba?
Lo, respeto be, kaya dyan ito, like ko, tigida tiyago.
Malik bonito
Tizago dyan eh. Bunga man napunta. Na hogo puntero, nagkatatas na ro, dungdungo. Tizago dyan. I don't like that.
Katanangga gupa.
Oo, tinan siya. May gano'n na si sedimento.
Tapantan niya.
Lo,
Tapantan niya. Por favor.
sa sao na do pagman mota ka so,
Ulay.
an man may ko sofa. Na comprendi sinintintao to, ay pinomanam ko. Comprendi sinintik ko. Comprendi sinintemo. Torang zo. Dabi ko, eko kanzo. Sa edwa na sinata pa moli. Problema.
Kasi kaya i-telephone mo ni Sinat no? Now, para bigpais no, yung respeto no, magtuwa mga i-unbraya, pag umafato, pag na bright primer, or lamigay na bright na.
Lamigay put eject kapit.
Kwanto bright magtuwa mo.
Na 20 ba size ba?
Ato na, no, kasi size.
No, gawalay.
Ay,
Malumang musical. No, make a little papanag using tao. I face a lot of people out there
okay.
and try to make them understand that we need to correct this problem.
That's about the bigpais.
I even spoke to Republican. I don't care who.
Okay.
We're friends.
Kasi pa bigpais no, besides bright na magtuwa, ba na maliyang sa ni Director?
Tawag Papa.
Have you heard about his case? He
No.
came here 6 times.
No,
In fact, I found out that I even trying to ask today when I go in there. They say that I could because it's a semi-concrete.
Oh.
And I want to put roof because they want me to put a roof.
Just a ma-preba ni SBA, no?
Oh, no. They approved me for 220,000.
It's 220, no? Kasi
Lo baho na eh.
It's not on the list.
Sa mga man, di ma, nito lang ha. Mga mapreso. Mga masulitan o, mga masulit ka mo. Sensa ginawa.
Pes gagyo ki lot 4, block 6.
Cruz.
Ang
Yeah.
pesawat gini pesawat sino. Pes size bright maklo. Taja na malian tu
Taza. Gesti der antiniste na sa kanta.
Zai size bright hasia le movie.
Pura tautoy. Tautoy bizu.
Barbena Clara. So
Secretariat.
just to make it clear, he came 6 times, and I was trying to make it clear. Did you ever hear about his case on the 6 times that you were here?
No,
I mean,
all I-
first time
all-
I met Mr.
Well,
Cruz.
we can this is the first time I've met Mr. Cruz.
Yeah.
We can verify if he's been here, but I don't think he's on the list.
Yeah, well, he just mentioned that he to verify lot 4, block 5, track 10125, and because he mentioned that he was approved for 220K, right? 220,000
Yeah.
pesos, no? Loan sa mga ni...
220.
Yeah, kasi ka nagagawin din. Kasi sa mga ni SBA na muna lang, no, 220.
Danya, tunasinya lah.
Utup pa.
Poblio lah.
Oo.
Mga na pag may matsuli, ginawa niya. I sweat my every day. My hand, my feet, all over my body.
Lumalik.
It's aching when I go.
Lumalik na mo gi SBS sa nag-pray mo siya.
Yeah.
SBS.
Lo, you know,
sa lapi.
mga na pala lusot mo, bitatangi za, ito na taon mo, nililik ko na pabinaki pa magod mo. Ay, isa, matsuli sa Teopos.
Dinansyo. Kasi si Sinora no Alice no naman gawagaw kami.
Ah,
No sa lapi ni
Right.
pero magopi. Isa lapi na zangin no waha at sa kiki nila lo mo za no ene 220,000 no isinata aposi 8 meses o September no i-Jess anos na tempo sinya i-SBA at suli sa lapi no land trust da aposi pin eza kalan-kalano ito nga sa pipula
sesta na ba, sige na ba tono para masuli.
Right.
O matsuli, tano, zanigiman eh.
oh
Particularo.
and
Ito lang, luangan nun eh.
Mr.
I'm
Fandan
scared. As a 73 years old man, who knows, I walked out here, that's it. Or getting my car, that's it.
Yeah.
Or reach home, that's it.
Kasi sige, loan
You don't know,
guarantee. Loan guarantee
Yeah.
protect no?
Yeah.
Isang gin si Kosu tapos
And the only way I could to take it, I have to surrender something.
Oh.
And that's the only thing they want, is the
Loan
land and
loan guarantee.
Yeah.
Kasi si Zeus
And,
Masik.
and it's all right, you know, it's una motto ma un pure pakit, quando senti Cristina lì, grana de.
Tema mo na ba pagpupunta?
Tama na ke howe position na tawtaw.
Oti.
Aso ano na kung
Jesus
na ba
Christ,
manay sa magay gi meeting. Ko ya, manay gi meeting na ligaw no.
Si Zeus Masik na makto sa sina mo foto ko di tempo.
Ya. Go ho na e già na risolto.
Kasi sta no.
Sa dana makka. In English, vano sa ngani SBA, I'm running like a system for ahead. Yeah, no. Gusto sa gadon so tama siya.
Pero sinyo, no, 6 meses si SBA asamami, no, na pertatsuli loan guarantee. Pero sinata amenda, sanggin mo 6 meses lo. Tatsag, mandanya, data pantapra ki
Kongreso.
Kongreso, da alupur favor sa migay man.
Megay.
Man masasak.
Megay. Tiga uno kita teko, tapi ni mesti pemalo.
Yeah.
Megay.
Pero okay, sa
Ang
tamali,
mga
sa Steve Amali, tali, sa kanang parewa na galaydi naman mawuwi.
Oh, jaga non nun ay kalagi.
Oo, ay si
Toto sa talito.
Kita na itatandaan todo.
Kiora no.
Ilan ta pala
Ay, sa
beso.
Pipeso. Yeah,
Isang David ng kwentos.
Oh, lana din.
Kwentos.
Sa David
Si
Nancy.
Mr. Kanata, David ng kwentos. Dang way matungo na tihanya is na storya na storya
Todo.
kawang
Todo.
todo.
Pero tayo ba no, ilimon pamilyang galaydi raw, no?
Yeah.
Kasi mo, amzu, si tatambiyo, kumakita na si galaydi.
Oh, gan.
Daw tutsuri, ramintan na si tatamu biyo. Ramintan ni umalam si, no,
Sila mo kang kalay din. Sa
Si
mga
Jesus Masi, da,
kan.
kanafan minto si pamalo,
No.
da.
Tangkulo na si Zumasian todo. Thank you.
Ang mamakigay,
Thank you.
Okay.
Just Masian. Thank you. Major Toro. Who's next? Ready, Mike? One.
Mga humana, para kay Faisal, tato bilhin.
Okay, ayun siya. Tapos na. Hindi ay. Siso. This is Mosin. Hindi mabahit, kumarenso, ano. Hindi po ka.
Garrido.
Okay po.
Ay.
Most po po ka. Yan, Garrido.
Pag-ibig galay dito, ulog ko, ulog na kwento sa talo. Magat. Pero, as tigit mo, as a one, si Senator Poe, sa mga bilang. Si Senator Poe, as a one,
Meron some marbles.
sa galay dito.
That's a good.
Ipon hasta like no maulika kung fish.
Si Dus Masi,
Doon na like ko fakto papa kay conversion.
Don Filistan,
Kumupuma.
Ahora empezamos na. Timoonyo comentos como para minawli todos. Para minawli kitano ta.
Kay mama, i-bidang mo dyan, next month, i-bigyan mo si Kalamitos na.
Mga malasaw na yun.
Una mana sole de study this, study that, study the
Ay, mga ganyan, study this, study that.
Sama talo na.
Study this, study that, study di malanya. Beba, pinagkakap, extension, doon pala pagpag. Study this, study that. Kaya gusto mo sa kasa. Di mamasisa na, manmanip pa.
Okay. Kung hindi pa rin yun, pulo sa kalamamamang. Ano pataksun?
Okay, Shane. Speak up.
Azuda sa.
CHamoru.
I was in the wrong place earlier.
Aday ko ito mo.
I went to the corporation.
Yes, say your name on the microphone. Have a seat. Oh no, it's already on. Six up. The one with 220 also.
My name is Shirley Gaggins.
Shirley Gaggins. Been a long time. Long.
So Shirley,
Go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Shirley Gaggins. I'm here because right when I was almost done with the, kind of nervous. I'm almost done with the clearances of all the things that we have to comply with to get a building permit. And all of a sudden, COVID came, so it pushed my papers back. The last step was my encroachment, which is done already. But when I was trying to go back to DPW to get the permit, there was one document holding me back. And it's coming from here tomorrow. It's an authorization letter. Get, to build a house. So I've been waiting to be called for a fair hearing, but nothing has come up. I've been coming in and out of this office to follow up as the status. Still no word. Finally now, see, I got this SBA loan because of the disaster that happened to, I didn't have no structure. It's only a shed. My kids are actually not living, how do you say, they're living in the streets, I'll be honest. I cannot put water and power, which I just got the water and power authorization recently. But when I went to apply, I needed a permit. So I haven't gone back to the, to Public Works to check if I have a permit to apply for the water. Prior, before when they gave me, it was a different director's name. So I couldn't apply until we waited for the new director to come.
at DPW. And you were approved?
Actually, GWA.
So your SBA approved?
I was
So
approved
how
for
much?
SBA for 200.
Okay. So you're in Manila? Okay, ma'am.
Did you go through the procedures of applying for a permit?
Yes, I did. It's only
See?
waiting for the authorization letter.
So you went to GPA,
Everything, all the
GWA, agriculture,
clearances,
you did all of that?
all of that except, and the last step was the approaching, which I was gonna go and try to get a house number and everything, and they couldn't. And this is new policy with the authorization that came up. I never heard of that before. So that's what I was waiting for from CHamoru.
Okay, and you came here how many times?
Couple of times.
Have you ever met
following up.
our director?
At the time I spoke to Joseph Cruz,
Joseph Cruz?
Joe Cruz, and A's been trying to help me out, but I haven't heard anything yet.
Must be Joey Cruz or Joseph.
They were upfront with me that they have to wait because of the proper, Attorney General. I don't know what does it have to do with attorney.
Okay. But you're now SBA approved from the
SBA
disaster,
approved
from the
me
disaster.
From the disaster, but even that I can't move forward. To do
When
anything.
did you get SBA approval? Just
July
recently?
20.
And they didn't tell you you needed,
Yes, I have the policy here. of
no, I
what
mean
they
the
did.
loan guarantee from
Oh,
CLTC.
that I didn't know anything about.
Because that's what the two prior
They only
people
told us.
that were testifying are
That's
here
what
for.
I'm trying to get right now.
Okay.
So, what do you call it?
Just
Sorry.
loan guarantee.
Loan
Yeah,
guarantee?
Yeah. SBA will require that same thing. No?
So Ms. Gagnon is actually on the list.
Oh, okay.
She's the one individual we're pending documents with regards to the breakdown of how much
Yes,
is needed
this
for
is it
guarantee.
right here.
Right. So she's the only one that we were waiting for. So that's one.
Yeah.
I've not made aware of her issue with regard to you need, you picked up a UT authorization on August 14th. That's to allow you to hook up water and power,
Yes,
correct?
okay.
Okay. So you're okay with that?
I have it, but I can't do it. I need a permit
Permit to build,
Oh, yeah, the contractor.
for
right?
the water and power also.
Okay, so that's on the utilities. What CHamoru Land Trust provides is authorization, we call it a utility authorization. So we'll sign off on it, the land agent will take a look at the file. If there's nothing that's that's bad, we would sign off on UT authorization, giving the lessee the authorization to apply for water and power.
Okay.
Now, it's also on the letter that states approval is really dependent on the utility because they have their different requirements. We're just saying it's okay, they're a lessee, they can apply for water and power.
Got it.
That's our responsibility. So that's been provided. With regard to the permit, it's the first I've heard. I'm not from CLTC. We don't issue permits for water
No,
and
not
power.
from here.
Right, okay.
It's from Public Works, I have to go.
Now, with regard to, I'm not aware, and I can share this with the commissioners in a little bit, is are you also seeking approval from the commissioners to build?
Yeah, whatever documents I need to start.
To build, okay. So that process is you would submit, and the land agent who's assigned to that should be in touch. The process is to write to the individual, in addition to calling and or email, we formalize it, to let them know, it's a letter of guidance, let them know, okay, if you're seeking to build, you need approval from the commissioners,
Okay.
and then we would indicate what it is that you need to do. Basically, bring this in. We're asking that they provide, per law, the plans and all of that at least 6 weeks prior, because there's also staff report that goes to the commissioners with that for your approval, right? So I will speak to the land agent that was assigned and follow up, if that is what you're seeking, is approval to build.
Yes, with the under SBA loan too.
Okay.
Yes, she said SBA
So-
applicant.
So you've got the UT authorization, you need the approval to build. I will have a land agent work with you on that. With regard to the loan guarantee, we just went through that process. I'm going to prepare a letter, somewhat of a general letter to our participants letting them know why we can't, and to SBA, why we can't approve or provide loan guarantees at this point in time, right?
Yeah, because she's gonna require that also, right, from the
Yeah,
SBA?
she's gonna, yeah.
Okay, so we're one step ahead of, for your request, so.
I'm very new to everything, so
Well,
I need step
It's
by
my
step.
understanding, okay, since you're going to build a permanent structure, both GPA and GWA will need to see your proposed building or proposed home. They want to check it to see if it meets safety standards. So that's the permit that you need to get, and in order to get that from the utilities, you have to show them your plan, your building plan. Okay? The utility authorization would come after you build, after you are in the process of building your home, okay? Because that says CLTC authorizes you to apply for power and water on your behalf, okay?
Yes.
But to build the structure, you need to go to water and power and show them your building plans. They're gonna review it and see if it's up to safety standards. And if it does meet safety standards, they will give you a stamp of the permit. But normally in that phase, you have to go to like public health,
Already
agriculture.
everything's complete.
Yeah, but.
It's an authorization letter that I needed to turn into.
So you have an existing building permit already?
It was about to be, How
Did
do
you
you
have
see
building
it?
plans?
yes, I have the building permit, the blueprint,
Huh?
blueprint and
Yeah.
everything.
And you
And
didn't
the
take it to
clearance?
GPA and
Yes,
GWA?
but I was told that I have to get an authorization from here.
The UTL should do that.
No, not for utilities, it's to build a house.
You have
I
to
never
get that
got
from
that
Public
letter.
Works.
No. So
No.
she needs to come before the commission,
Yeah.
Yeah,
right, and get approval from the
To get the
commission to
approval.
build. So it's basically, the commission would take a look at her file, will provide the staff report, and she has to provide plans, and then the commission will make that determination.
So,
that's
Approved
what
to
you
build.
read by commissioner.
These are our commissioners.
Yeah.
To get the authorization.
so she has all the plans, she got the 7 checklists from the permits, but she didn't get the
So
thing from here, so which is good.
Provide all the paperwork you have so that the
I have
CLTC staff.
submitted here. The
They
only
have
thing
a
I didn't
copy of your
submit
blueprint?
is this.
Do
The
they
one
have a
from
copy of
SB.
your blueprint?
Yes, I did.
We have a copy of your
Yeah.
blueprint?
Yes, it's
submitted
in your,
it.
it was on a pump drive. They have it in file. It was printed. I even have a copy here. Stamped.
I'll assign another land agent. I will
Can
put
I
her
see
in the
your
next,
The sliding,
Okay, this
Meeting,
is
if-
SBA and
it's sliding. Thank you.
it's the lot.
Here's the one that she has, and so here too.
I sent that long time ago.
And you set it on February of last, 2022.
I had to do another revise because it looked like a duplex house, which I wasn't supposed to. So
Okay, which is good, because
We
now,
redid it.
when
That's the
you
second.
haven't built it yet, so, because if you did build, and then the agents find out that you didn't come to the process, then you'll do cease and desist, no? Okay. Oh, sliding.
This is, I was supposed to turn this into a.
Oh, okay. So you want to,
But this is only stating how much percentage for the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth.
okay.
I don't need a copy.
The building permit,
Okay,
so do you have a copy of the building permit where each
The
of the
original?
agencies put their stamp on it?
Yes.
oh,
Do you need to see that?
Well,
it's in file, right?
A saw it with me, and we all,
it would help, so we know that it's already been.
Glenn asked everything.
yes, he did.
there's documents here, there's
Oh, is that?
potentially other issues with the file,
Okay,
so we'll make that known to the commissioners.
okay, thank you.
Can I know what is that issue?
So we had to review it, it's basically the date and time of your application, However, and we will take this up with legal, a lease was already issued. So her date and time is December 4, 1995. Lease was issued outside of that date and time, because we're still on December 2nd.
That's your file?
This is her file.
Oh, okay.
So the lease was issued and signed. $9.17. Or signed by, yep, September 22nd, 2015. It was signed, it was notarized, she signed it, and the governor at the time signed it. So that's the issue, one of the issues that needs to be taken up with legal counsel and the board.
Okay.
So we can bring it before the board next, in
Yes, we
September,
Put it on the agenda. No?
put it on the agenda, the staff report will be prepared,
Okay.
and in that staff report, the issues will be indicated, and then it had to be legal.
So who do I call?
Do we have your contact number?
Yes.
Okay. You will get a phone call by mid-morning tomorrow from a land agent. Mr. A isn't in today. I will have a conversation with Mr. A and another land agent, and we'll address that.
All right. Thank you for coming.
Madam Chair, I think there's one more public.
It's different in there. Oh, yeah. This is on? Yes. Director, Chair, Board of Commission. I sat here just to see if I can get the public comments. I can provide a courtesy on, and I'm glad finally we got, at least we got to schedule a work session on the proposal we submitted with HPCC for security inches. Thank you for that. But in the meantime, I just wanted for all courtesy and respect, you guys will still have a process of the public hearing process and looking at the policy, because that's been written by the legislature. There's a timing issue. There's a timing issue, and that you guys will still have an opportunity to make sure what's in there, what we presented, what's the benefits for you guys, for the CLTC, will be there in regards to format. But that's still a public hearing process and more comment process. So I just wanted to give a courtesy respect that I'm not jumping the gun. I'm just trying to find timing. I'll be working with the legislature on policy based on the presentation you have, which you guys want more clarity on September 21. And you get more clarity when you do have a public hearing process with a sponsor of the bill down in the session, down in the legislative hall. So if that's okay, that's the reason I wanted to make a public comment. So you don't think I'm circumventing you guys and trying to jump, because there's still a process where you guys still will comment and make changes and do that. And
Sure. Yeah, I just need to clarify. Am I to understand that the bill has already been introduced?
Not yet.
There's no public hearing?
No, not yet. We just want to make sure we are putting everything in timing matter.
And you're seeking board buy-in sooner than later? Is there a time frame?
No, because during the public hearing process, hopefully you guys will do further comments and either put your guys' thumbs up or thumbs down. But I hope, based on the presentation we have and more clarity, that it will be I hate to use the word win-win, but it will hopefully be a good product for the and a sustainable resource. But we can discuss that in more clarity in September 21. If that's the date, September 21.
Yes.
Can I ask a question? So you're saying that you're trying to get a bill introduced before you guys come and talk to the board?
Well, I'm trying to get the bill based on this concept we presented. And of course, there's still got the public hearing process where when they have it, you guys will come in and comment, goes, oh, I don't like section 2, section 3, this is the way I want it. You know, there's still that process of open public policy. It's not fine-tuned. You still got 15 senators that's going to make their own amendments.
Right, but I'm just that.
I mean, there's
I
still
was
that.
just trying to understand if
Yeah,
you're talking
I'm just trying
about
to, because it takes a little bit, by the time it gets introduced by a senator, then it'll get allocated to a particular chairperson overseeing that. Then you got the scheduling rule and all that kind of stuff that has to go through the process. You guys seen that in other past bills. So
And are we talking, which property are we talking about?
the GICC.
Of course.
So we're talking about the golf course?
Yes.
This would be a bill to do something different with the golf course?
Yes. So I just wanted to give a courtesy respect that we're going to start working on concept, and I don't know how they're going to write the bill. I mean, there's whoever the sponsor are, because they'll have the same presentation and try to put down the theory or the concept, I guess.
Well, I'm thinking that before we get to that stage, that we have a comprehensive discussion with the board before we even try and go to the legislature, so that at least we're at least parallel in our path. So we'll start that process on the 21st. Because that, I guess, still be in the agenda, right?
Yes.
So you can come in and do more detailed explaining on your proposed plans and stuff like that. Okay? And you can hear our feedback to your proposals, and that's when you start integrating what you have and what we would like to see in it. And when we complete that, that's when you should go to, I'm not saying you should try and reach out to the legislature, because that's another different ballgame.
Exactly.
But if you're able to comply with what we think we should have with your proposal, then we can go on to the legislature at a certain point in time and maybe walk hand in hand, right?
Yeah. And hopefully that's the goal. I just wanted to say, we're going to start discussion. So at least because they may be calling you guys directly, they may, whoever the senators may be calling, have you heard about this? Because yeah, we're going to do a work session. I just don't want you guys to be caught off guard today.
It's going to be in the agenda, so.
Yeah.
And it has been on the agenda.
Now, Mr. Camacho, can you tell me how long was the lease for?
Right now, there's 17 years left.
17.
And in the proposed legislation, we're going to need up to 2055 for the solar scenario to work. And it's in that presentation, which will go clearly in September 21. Yeah, no?
I mean, the Japanese company, they should be prepared.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Thanks for letting us.
No problem. I'd like to do another public comment on since financing is my background, if I could, in regards to SBA, VA, and all the programs that you guys are administering. Director, I know you had two hats you wore before, from Guam Housing to here. Historically, in 2005, I worked on an MOU with the USDA, and which was signed by CHamoru and Guam Housing Corporation. And all they needed was a $500,000 trust fund account, which at that time you guys put up the $500,000, right? And that's what opened up the funding program. Now, the reason I say this was that $500,000 is not what you guys are trying to research on the SBA, the dollar for dollar, 70% or 50%. This $500,000 is just exactly what you described, the good faith effort of the government of Guam to show that we are providing a source. Now, that would never meet the demand, but as you guys described earlier, you got the SBA at 2%, which you guys trying to figure out the 50-70% ratio, or the alternative is the Guam Housing 6% ratio. The beauty about the USDA program, which you guys had previously, and the only reason why it was halted was the Dave Davis lawsuit, which we fought with Mr. Phillips and Therese Terlahi at that time. And as you guys know, the result was we did a settlement, and this COTC won the case, and now we're back in play. So that 2005 amendment is in Washington right now, being reviewed to see if they can regenerate it. If it's regenerated, there's already legislative policy for the $500,000 to put that in an account. So, but that's not for me to speak. That's for the other players to, if you guys want to ask them, so where's the status in that one? I could provide the existing MOU that was signed, and if that happens, that opens up a third option for financing. Their interest rates are from 1%. Today's floor rate is 3.75%. So now they do have an alternative. Two, for the SBA, if you guys can get the 12.4 million or 12.8 million legislative appropriation to match that ratio, or the 6% Guam Housing, or the 1 to 3 if the MOU is finally adopted. Again, which is already at Washington for being at their office of their attorneys being reviewed. And that will be announced later with your director, and Mr. USDA is willing to do a presentation to that.
The Insular Affairs?
USDA, U.S. Department of Agriculture. So that was signed in 2005. So that's a third option for your constituency. And for that $500,000, I'll give you an example, the Marshall Islands that we did, that they did not make, they already gave up close to $12 million in loan in the history for a $500,000 guarantee. So it wasn't a dollar for dollar match. So there's an opportunity there to expand the financial resources to your constituency base. If in the event the legislature doesn't have the,
Well, I would be interested in seeing that MOU.
I will provide it to the director.
Yes.
And that was in 2005, and I can't speak for USA, but they're willing to come and do a presentation.
Well, if we show them,
Huh?
if we show SBA that this was something that's been approved in the past by the feds, they might go ahead and adopt it.
You never know, because the director mentioned there's a VA MOU.
Whatever we can do
Yeah,
to service our tenants.
I'll just provide I'll leave it up to you guys to, and then you guys can contact them directly to find out what's the status.
Okay.
I'm working with the Congressional Office, Madeline Verdalio. She's the liaison officer of the governor. She's following up on that MOU that they held off after the lawsuit, but they're trying to reignite it. But that's out of my pay level.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And it's be something to look at.
I just wanted to share that since I sat down and listened to all your different solutions, and I know you guys are trying to find a solution, so I just wanted to, maybe you guys already know about it, I don't know, I just wanted to bring it up. I'll email that MOU to the director.
Well, thank you
I
very
appreciate
much.
it.
That's it for me. See you guys September 21.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Director, thank you.
Can I just get confirmation that we're on the agenda for next summer? I just want to make sure that the Racing Federation is on the agenda. Thank you. I'll make it real quick. You guys must be tired. Update, Madam Chair, update Commissioners, Herrera and
Introduce
Garrido.
yourself.
Jeff Rios with the Guam Racing Federation, Attorney Denning and Director. Update. Just wanted to confirm that we were on the agenda for the 21st. I'm hoping. I know that we were supposedly going to be back on after recess. I think from what I recall 2 weeks ago was there would be a meeting, and I'm happy, so happy that Attorney Finney and Randy do have an appointment, I guess a meeting scheduled for tomorrow. And so I guess my next question was just if is it possible with the open government law to get a meeting shortly after that, like maybe a special meeting request? No, it'll be too late. We might as well put it in for the next meeting. So we are confirmed though for the 21st.
Well, if the commissioners want to put you on the agenda, we'll put you on the
Yes.
agenda.
Great. That would be great. I
Hopefully,
appreciate it.
Mayor, the lawyers have come to at least.
I appreciate
So the
it.
meeting, we just received confirmation today from the Attorney Kana's office, and there is a meeting set up for tomorrow, yeah.
Awesome. Thank
So
you.
that's already been done. So, yeah, we'll make sure that he, GRO the agenda.
Yeah, I just wanted to share. I drove by the track yesterday and
How's
yeah,
it looking?
it's just pretty bad. I couldn't see the motocross track anymore from the road.
From the vegetation?
Yeah, it's just the vegetation and there's a lot of trash out by the gate. I'm probably gonna pick that up because it's outside the gate.
Yeah.
So I'll grab it. But,
Like illegal dumping? or-
Yeah, there's illegal dumping going on there and the gate's damaged. You know, I don't know if that's from the storm,
I see.
but you know, it's okay. I'm not going inside. I'm just gonna wrap the trash on the outside just because I feel like if somebody sees a little bit of trash there, they just keep dumping more trash there. So,
I guess
but that's
they're-
it. It's not.
Right, their padlock is still there, right?
Yeah, it's still
It's still
locked. It's
locked.
just the gates are broken on the
Yeah.
side.
I see.
But it's
Still
just
locked.
getting old. Yeah.
It's just,
And the lock is under you guys, right?
We all. I think
we have the keys to the
Yeah.
lock.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go. I'm right there at the outside. I'm just gonna get the trash that's right there. It's not a big deal. Just maybe half a truckload, but I can grab it.
We're
But
still-
thank you. Just make it quick. I know you guys are busy, so we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.
Next week.
Thank you,
Thank you. Have a good day.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, well, we just received correspondence via email today, right, Dex, or just today? We've been following up just to get the meeting, so if you want, we can provide the correspondence. We'll also make it available at the next meeting, because it came in after the,
The meeting
Correspondence
between,
setting up for the meeting?
I'm sorry?
The correspondence to set up for the appointment meeting?
I believe it is, yes.
Okay. Just,
We'll provide it at
well,
the
we
next
know
meeting.
it's place already,
Yeah.
right?
Is that with the Guam Racing?
So the Guam Racing Federation, their attorney, and our attorney, tomorrow.
are we privy to that meeting?
It's probably,
Or is it a top secret, confidential, classified?
That's the lawyers' discussion.
All right, okay.
it's probably better that it just be between the attorneys. I'm even gonna ask if I should be there, if I need to be there. So,
Yeah, remember for the last 20-some years, right, that was what's happening, and the commission has been put on the side until the last minute. So, and maybe this is a question that I have, is the attorney here representing the director or the board? I'm not sure.
The raceway.
Who do you represent?
No, in the
You mean
commission.
Commissioner or the board?
Yeah.
Being
commission.
paid by,
not me.
Because the Guam Visitors Bureau had that kind of struggle, right? Where they have an attorney and they're trying to see, is the attorney representing the director or
That
the
is
board?
corralling
So
all
the-
the information.
The Attorney General of Guam provides legal services to the commission, and
To the commission
Right.
and the director.
Well, not like personally to the director, but, to
the agency.
to the commission.
Because I'm learning a lot here that when Madam Chair was saying to be careful for us commissioners because we could be personally liable. Personally liable.
Is the AG going to step in on our behalf
And
if something comes up where we're going to be sued in our personal
yeah.
capacity
Yeah,
as
because-
commissioners?
Because you
I'm not really sure how to
Can you find
answer
out?
the question that you're asking. If you're asking about a hypothetical situation,
I don't think
then
it's
I
gonna be
can't.
hypo- I think it's-
I don't know.
It may be probable with our aggressiveness. Will the AG be will the AG be representing us if we're sued because we're a board member?
It really, I mean, it really depends on what, the whole circumstances. If you do something in your personal capacity or that exceeds your authority as a board member, then no. But if you're, acting as a commission, I can't, I would say if you think that you're gonna do something to get
I
sued,
know
you
if I
should
go,
have a conversation.
I know if I go over the line and I step outside into the red area, that I should be responsible for my own action.
Right.
But if it's something that was discussed in this forum, and later on we get sued,
There's so many, it's hard to answer your question in a hypothetical, but
can we
If
get a
you-
direction from the AG on?
if you have an issue that you want addressed, or if you think that there's a problem, then you can bring it to our attention, and then we can see.
I don't know if you understand what I was trying to put on the table there. If we're doing our due diligence and we're doing what we should be doing as is described by by the law, but yet we get, nothing will stop somebody from wanting to sue somebody else.
Right, and it depends, it depends how that lawsuit looks and what actions you are accused of
That's what I mean,
having
if
done,
we're,
and
if we're on the straight and narrow and we get sued, it's frivolous suit, right? Is the AG going to step in for us?
She can't
really,
answer that.
it just, it depends on
I wanna-
how you're sued, it depends on, what you're accused of having done,
Well, that's
so,
why I said,
you
if
know,
we're in the straight and narrow, but yet somebody just out of spite wants to sue us to try and get us to comply with what they want,
I'm here right now to advise you if you have an issue that you'd like to discuss, or if you think that there's something that somebody's going to be suing you for, we can talk
Well,
about
Ms.
that.
Finney, one example is these people that want to guarantee us to guarantee their loan. And we don't meet their deadline to approve the guarantee. Can they sue us?
Right, yeah.
So I guess I would say, like you say, anybody can sue anybody for anything, right? Would
because
you
you wore
rather
the
be
wrong, you wore the wrong color shirt.
Would you
today.
rather be sued for following the law, or would you rather be sued for not following the law?
And
And
this,
that's,
the
you know-
suit, my question is not the suit, is our defense.
Right.
Will the AG defend us
They should.
for following the law? I'm putting you
I,
on the spot, but I need to know too, man.
I can't really, I can't make a guarantee about, I don't have enough money in the bank to guarantee. But no, if you're asking about a hypothetical situation, I can't really answer that. If you have a situation you're concerned about, we can discuss it.
Because when we
but-
start reviewing like there's a possibility that we could be sued by Guam Raceway.
You know,
I mean, if they have standing, that's to be determined in court, but that means.
and if that happens, we can take a look at it and we'll see. But you know, I would say I'm here to advise the commission, and you know, if you have any issues, we can discuss them. And I would say again, I just, you know, my advice to you is to follow the law. So.
Well, all I can say too is, if CHamoru Land Trust was autonomous,
We still could hire our own attorneys.
yes, you could.
No, they took away GPA and GWA.
Well,
I'm at the airport, so we have our own attorneys,
It
so.
depends on what the law says. As far as I know, you guys are, you know, the law says that you have legal representation from the Attorney General, and you know, he assigned me to be here at this meeting to advise you. So if you have issues, you can bring them up and we can discuss them. But as far as like, if you hypothetically did something wrong, I
No,
just
if
don't
we
know.
didn't-
I just don't
If we
know.
didn't do
If you
anything
didn't do
wrong.
anything wrong and somebody sues you, again, it depends on what that looks like and what you're accused of doing and all of that. So I just can't, I'm here to advise you though, if you have an issue that you want to bring.
We just have to make sure we have insurance,
One insurance.
personal.
So question, can we contact you directly or do we have to channel our question to the director?
Well, I can't,
If we have question based on the 75.
I can't advise the commission, you know, outside of a meeting that, you know, is a public meeting, so, you know, but I can,
She can talk to her lawyers.
you can, you know, raise your issues, but, you know, if I'm going to be advising the commission, it has to be done.
Yeah, because, well, 35-112 was inserted, was codified here. So there's a lot of interconnecting changes from 35-112, from the original 12-226. So yes,
12-226.
yes, the CHamoru Land Trust.
This is the
And 12- and
All the
22,
original law.
and 2238.
And so you have some questions about that?
Plenty. Huh?
Okay.
Ask it at the meeting. So I've been working with Dexter on reorganizing the agenda. And on that agenda, we're going to add legal. So if you have questions for legal, you can address it there. That'll be the avenue for you.
So we can put that on the future.
Yeah,
agenda.
for now, it's just public comments.
Yeah.
But I'm putting it on
but-
the agenda for you to be able to ask.
I'm just a freshman here, so, you know, I have a lot to ask and I have a lot to learn, especially with the legal liability
Okay.
according to 75A.
Okay.
So that's it. I'm gonna pass this down. This is the startup funds for the CHamoru Land Trust.
So this is something that you're gonna have put on the
Yeah, well,
future
the start-
agenda, right? Because,
Yes, yeah, please.
oh,
What is it?
Because the startup funds is 500,000. So I'm not sure is that enough, because I understand that we're burning about $1 million a year. We're burning about $1 million a year, and the startup funds is 500,000. So
You know, you see that,
I don't know.
after number 39,
Right,
where's number 40?
right here.
Because it
Because
pertains to the
municipal-
golf course.
Correct. See, transfer title of the golf course to the commission. So, and then you had been on CHamoru, and then, you know, identification of lands to be exchanged. And then, you know, with the startup fund, I think that's 500,000 is not enough. If we're burning $1 million a year, this thing should be amended. So if you, and then I'm just trying to understand this one, and I really need to decipher it with a legal counsel, so I don't step on my thumb. If we're supposed to follow this, bylaw.
This was a carryover from 75.
Director.
Right, it's a carryover, but you see they inserted a,
Director, that last tenant that spoke, is she in a residential or agricultural?
The blue folder is
it's a
residential.
residential.
Because I remember her mentioning something like a duplex. And if it's a duplex, it should be in a agricultural for the zoning.
I think it's a residential lease, right? It's a residential lease.
Didn't they?
Residential,
Yes.
then she can't build a duplex on residential.
She
Unless
indicated
it's an
you
RD.
did.
Right.
Back then?
So 500 at that time.
So she just had to redo it.
So
But you know, the legislatures, the one
I don't know how they determine that in the agricultural
knock
zone.
on their door and say,
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
you're
I mean,
allowed to build a duplex
know,
on an agricultural
we're
lot,
under
but not on an R1.
Department of
Yeah.
Administration.
Something that has
So
to be
we don't
addressed.
get
But
yes.
that's the law.
funding right
I
direct
don't want to change it.
from the legislature.
That's too big
It
a
has
fight.
to go to the
No.
administration.
We have enough
So
here.
We're still in our meeting.
They do.
So, commissioners, you know we're still in our meeting, right? We haven't adjourned?
Yes, and I have one question again. Again, I'm a freshman here. So because we have 1/3 of the property in Guam, of course, the chairperson here was saying that, we have a different, parameter when we're an autonomous agency versus a line agency. So of course, in my heart, my mind, and my spirit, I really would like for us, as a group, to accelerate the movement of the CHamoru land trust to get it autonomous or self-sufficient, or how do we do that, right? I'm asking around, well, of course, right, but we need
And then-
experts
and
in
then-
commerce.
Mr. Camacho here knows how
Right,
to
yeah.
get the money.
Yeah, so year after year, 75, 85, 95, 2005, now it's almost 2025, and we're still milking from the main cow, from the general funds, right? Could we not get into that kind of transitional mode and enhance what we're doing, and create cash flow for our Land Trust Commission? In my thought, absolutely. There's billions of dollars that are flowing into the coffers on Guam. It may not be a billions before 10 years, but right now, you guys already know, right, from the regional concept that we have on Guam with the issues from Japan, Korea, China, even the demand for coal. You cannot buy coal when you go to Swift Bridge or Hawaiian Rock because the demand is so high. We were looking at the value of the cost, it was $1 a cubic, remember? Now it's up to $3.
This one,
Correct, yeah. So why is the price of the coal per cubic yard going up? Because the demand is so high. And if you're in construction, and I understand construction, the demand again are being funneled over to the Department of Defense. Do we have property? That's why I put those maps up here.
All I can say is the real estate tax money some of that money should go into CHamoru land
Yeah,
trust.
and Senator Turi said that in the presentation, right? That the amount of taxes being paid for CHamoru land trust has not been remitted from Department of Tax to Guam.
Yeah.
DOA.
DOA, right? So what are we doing, right, with that? Do we just sit back and, just twiddle our thumb and, I'm sorry, right? I'm saying with this amount of real estate that we have, if you guys cannot take that kind of language, then maybe you don't belong in the kitchen. Because the commerce that you want is, the cash flow is high. And
Well, you know, the legislature's the one that makes the laws.
yeah, but we gotta prove to them that we know how to create commerce.
If you have land, you can make money out of it.
We got land. We got 1/3. We have 1/3 of the island.
Can you
That's it,
prepare
thank you.
a synopsis of what it would take for us to become?
Very good.
uh,
That's what I think
Autonomous?
today.
Yes.
Or semi-autonomous?
Can I do that?
Yeah, because you know the law.
Excuse me.
I mean, our director's already burdened a lot.
No, you know what? The legislature has these
Yes,
lawyers
the
that
legislature
can,
has to approve it, but we need to know what it
That
would
can-
take for us to go down that path.
The biggest thing, at least based on what I'm familiar with, is we need to show financial independence. We need to be able to generate our own funds,
Solvency.
financial solvency. So there's some bills that have been introduced. It's now law with regard to collecting for submerged lands. That's great, things like that. But CLTC would have to show that it is financially solvent. Now, with regard to just coming in and CLTC could make money. I'm trying to assess the laws that prevent us from making money. Coming in here, I was taking a look at, and I am not just focusing on commercial. My entire attention is bifurcated into potentially 5 different, 6, 10 different situations, right? Is collecting from people who owe. So why, and I'm going to say it, CLTC is in the position that it is today because of the actions and inactions that were taken and not taken previously. For as long as I'm going to be here, right, I am taking as many and as much action that we can within the parameters of the law, guidance from our legal counsel and our commissioners. One, to collect on what is due to the commission, whether it be commercial. I am taking action on lessees, what is due to the commission, enforcement, considering the many challenges before us. The team is doing their best. We are working to address these issues to the best of our ability, right? So that's what we're doing. With regard to autonomy, we need to show our financial solvency.
do you have,
We also need to set in place financials so that we're able to monitor, to watch. Those things have not been in place.
I mean, CLTC has had setbacks. Like
Huge.
like I said, the sins of our fathers, right?
Yeah.
But we have to move forward and we have to start doing things right for the people as well. And our biggest setback, I'll say it, and we're on record, our biggest setback is the legislature because they throw things at us that we had nothing to do with. And they're not even meeting our rate structures when they do that. They give preferred rates. So if we go as being semi-autonomous or autonomous, they would be able to do that so easily.
May I add
We-
to that?
we have a lot,
That's my voice.
Thank you.
yes,
You were about to say something,
no, we have a lot of things that can be done,
Yes.
yeah.
Should have been done.
She's finding out all these things
And
that
we could
hasn't
do-
been done.
We could do a lot
Even have a
more.
collection department,
Mhm.
someone to go out there and get the money.
And I was going to add into that. The 2 or 3 constituents that came here, I asked the question, right? You came here 5 times, 6 times, 7 times. Have you seen the director? No. So I understand. I was an employee here when we started the land trust. And for each employee here, right? For each employee to have 5, 10, 15 cases, and you only have, you have 10, we have 10 land agents. Maybe less.
Five.
5 now. So we lost Therese, we lost Tina Rose, and then we only have Lydia, Johanna,
Jessica,
Jessica,
Eileen, and
Eileen.
Glenn.
So 5, no? So if each 5 have 10 to 20 on their desk, 10 cases, I can figure out why it was difficult for them to pass it to you, because most likely they're inundated with, because each case has maybe simple, maybe complex, maybe multi-complex. And if we don't study, right, the one that I was just mentioning, I mean, it's good. These guys are experts in this one. The agents, 2238 is the rules and regs, 1535-112, and 12-35112, right? I mean, we're asking questions here that I was saying, well, that was like since back in Senator Berdali's time. So even us, if we don't study what the amendments are, we're going to be missing the boat. So do we need maybe 5 more land agents to spread out the load from each? If there's only 5 land agents and we've got 20 cases per land agent, so you've got 5, 10, 15, 25 cases. Out of the 25 cases, again, from simple to complex. And I understand your responsibility, it's humongous. Because you see how emotional the people are. Some come almost crying, some come yelling, right? So, that's just 2 of the 3,000 lessees that are out there. So let's do an audit, right? We'll do a random audit, just 2. So out of 2, if you got 3,000, how many of the 3,000 are in this kind of situation? Do we care? Do we feel? Have you ever lived under a tent with mosquitoes biting you, and when it rains, you get soaking wet with the rain? One here mentioned that there was a flood. If they're in swamp road, that's why they call it swamp road, because it gets swampy. Do we feel them? Or are we desensitized? No? I got AC, I got water heater, dryer, washer, AC, high-tech devices. So I know that when former Senator Bobo Dawson started this back then, and the governor, Berdali, signed it into law, remember, we had to go protest in Adeline just to get this thing implemented. It was difficult. But here we are today, fast forward. And there's a lot of progress. But in my feeling, we could do more. It's like we're saying, oh yeah, really, right? No, you want us to go 1 more mile, do another push-up, take another hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours to focus on the cases, right? It takes time. Every case here takes time, and time requires concentration and reading and researching. Do you put in 8 hours here when you come in at 8 to 5? I don't know. Can we measure? Sure, we can. Can we measure the productivity per agent? Can do if you understand the concept inside the activity. So with 5 land agents, do we have enough? Is that sufficient for us to get? Ever since we started here, have we ever issued at least 1 lease? I don't know. I don't think so. Have we?
Not since I've been here.
Not since I've been here too. And we're stuck at number 5 or number 6.
No, we're stuck at number 6.
Right, so we're stuck at number 6. So the point here, right, how we do it way back is that you come to me, agent, as a problem, you give me 3 resolutions. Don't just come to me and tell me we got a problem with this family. So you come with the problem, but you come with 3 to 5 solutions so we can work together. We want to be fluid and dynamic, and we want to reciprocate. What can we do? And if it needs to be that we amend the law, then we'll contact the legislature and amend it. Because the law is made by man, and it can be modified by man, and it can be implemented by man. So that's it, Madam Chair. Thank you.
I just need to clarify, Commissioner Herrero, is there something, I want to assure the commissioners that I have found that what has been happening is a lack of follow-up and follow-through with regard to cases. So I've instituted a process by which every land agent is to be held accountable. Every land agent, we track the cases. They provide updates every Friday by 1 p.m. I take a look at that, and then I will ask what. And you are right. When I speak to our land agents, I'm like, what is the solution? What are we going to do? And ensure that that solution is supported by the Guam Code Annotated, or the GAR, or the public law. Because the public law, more often than not, has already been codified. So we go to the GCA, we go to the GAR. If there's something in the public law that hasn't been codified, then we will make mention of that. But do we need more land agents? Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Qualified land
Qualified
agents.
land agents. So we are again faced with the situation of funding. They cut our budget a little bit. Issues with DOA. I'm still waiting for our list. I'm not twiddling my thumbs. I am writing, I am calling, I am following up. Joey Cruz is basically in my office, and we're trying to discuss ways to do that. We need more land agents. We need more people. I am working on it. I've sought, we're looking, nobody wants to work. But our land agents, I will stand and support them. They have come to know that they are working as quickly as they can. They are. And I've brought that to their attention. Time management. If you are not at your desk, right, you're allowed 2 15-minute breaks, 1 hour lunch, right? Run to the bathroom for a little bit. If I come out 3 times and I'm looking for you and you're not there within a half-hour span, you're not managing your time and you're not doing your work. This team has a lot. They've been through a lot. They're frustrated and they're tired, right? And so there are going to be changes. And one of the things is the ability in our agenda for our commissioners to ask legal questions and legal clarification. Because that is the thing that has been holding this team back. In addition, the questions with regard to the biggest question which has held this team back is the application of date and time. You have, I'm going to say it, transparency. I have not held anything back. If there is something that was not made clear, it's probably an oversight on my part, and I will always take responsibility for it, but I will make that correction. It will start coming out. It will be brought to this board, much like this whole loan guarantee situation. For years, it has been swept under the rug. Swept under the rug. And I can only bring to the board what is shared with me. And trust me, I have told the staff, I want to know everything, especially if it is something that occurred that was contrary to law, that is going to go before the board, that is going to go to our Attorney General. Because that's not good for us. Things are going to start coming out. The biggest challenge we have right now is the application of date and time to every file. That is what's held back this agency for years. I have come to understand and see that the application of that part of the law, or that part of the law, and the Attorney General from 2018's opinion and guidance, right, was the date and time, has potentially been misunderstood. So we are going to bring that to the board. We're going to bring everything that has not been done that needs to be done. So I'm glad you brought that up, because it's going to be a very bumpy ride. It's going to be very difficult moving forward, and we're going to need our attorney to guide us every step of the way. This is a whirlwind of issues, this agency, what I've discovered, the staff has shared with me. I don't know, honestly, every day I look, I'm just like, I don't know.
I got a question. If I'm one of your land agents, right, I clock in at 8, Again, the question, because when I come here, right, just to go do a site visit, I come here with ice that are situated 360 degrees. So when I say 360, so if I'm one of your line agents, I clock in at 8, and because you mentioned that if that's my chair, and you see me at 8, then 9, then I'm gone. Then you see me at 11, then I'm gone. Then you see me at 2, then I'm gone. So, and maybe, right, maybe the question would be, so what kind of metric do you have to measure the productivity of that individual? You know what I mean? A time and motion productivity assessment of a metric system. So if you don't see me there, and I'm doing a field inspection, well, of course you should know, right? I'll say, hey boss, I'm heading out.
They actually have to email and get approval before they do site inspection?
Yeah, email you.
Yes.
I'm right here next to you. So, I mean, I'm just saying, well, okay, but do you clock in here, or is there an electronic clock to measure?
They clock
I mean,
in.
I don't know. And maybe there is, maybe there's not. But productivity, quality productivity, do we have it? I don't know. But when I say twiddling the thumb, I'm not saying to you. We were just discussing that the 500,000 that was allotted here, that was in 1975, 1995. So what we're saying is that when we see a problem, we've got to knock at the legislature and say, hey, we need to amend this 500,000. We're burning $1 million a year. And that 500,000 allotment is obsolete. The documents I gave you. Right? So if it's made by man, we're going to have to tell the group to say, please amend this where the inflation rate has increased. 500,000 back in 1995 may sound a sufficient amount. But 500,000 now is like $5. Considering the overhead, rent too. How much did we burn for rent too here? And you know what salary, right? Sick leave, annual leave. It's a difficult, this is a dynamic agency to run.
I think also timing is crucial. Since we're at the mercy of the legislature, next year is an election year, so if we want anything done, we have to do it like this year. Because they know that they're going to have to try and sway us for the next senatorial election.
Is this yours too?
Okay, so that's it.
There,
There you go.
any more comments?
Yeah, I move to adjourn.
Thank you.
Okay, and I
To
second
September
that.
21, Thursday, September 21, 2023 at 1 p.m.
Yes.
Okay.
Our next
Move to
meeting.
adjourn.
I said I move to adjourn.
To Thursday, September 21, 20.
I move to adjourn till Thursday, September 21st at 1 p.m.
So be it.
I second the motion.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Had a long meeting today.
What is the time anyway?
I need a commitment from you.
4:40. Adjournment at 4:40.